Out for a drink, I know just the place.
I'll just delete my Facebook account.
Yeah, just as long as you're sitting down and not dancing and doing all the right things.
I probably can't invite 100, so...
Yeah, that's
Good afternoon and welcome to Matchday Live from Adelaide University Football Ground, here in the heart of Adelaide. Today's Division 1 first semi-final is between Prince Alfred Old Collegians and Rostrevor Old Collegians. Today's big match is proudly brought to you by Dartfish. You coach, we help, they win. Sports Interactive, creating better players, one coach at a time. Catch, screaming good deals. Now, let's meet your filming footy team led by Phil Herden, Sean Jackson and Tony, Cowboy, the coach's coach, Neil. Gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Voiceover Man. G'day, footy fans, and welcome to University Oval for a huge afternoon in the Adelaide Footy League. We're coming to you from the OTR Division 1 first semi-final. Prince Alfred Old Collegians, Rostrevor Old Collegians. Two teams, just one will stay alive to play next week. This is a Sports Interactive filming footy production. Our coverage brought to you by catch.com.au. Screaming good deals. You're watching the reserves first semi-final at the moment. It is Port Districts who've narrowly led just about all day. 11 points. They lead by 8 minutes into the final quarter. This is, of course, the pre-game show thanks to Dartfish and Lens Surgery. Don't forget, for your team photo needs, go to lenssurgery.com. Our team is here. We've got cameramen, producers, stats, and my commentary crew. And I'm going to change the introductions today because I never get to do it. He's a 4-time premiership coach, also coached many times of the South Australian state team. He's our designated expert, Sean Jackson. Welcome, Jacko.
Oh, Phil, I'm pumped up after that pump up. How are you?
I'm pumped, mate. How about you?
What a great day for footy. It's,
yes.
Those who haven't been here, it's a beautiful place to watch a footy game. Adelaide University with the parklands in the backlines. The oval is in immaculate condition. It's as good a surface as you'll see anywhere in Adelaide, and I include Adelaide Oval in that, which is just across the road. And the crowd is building up behind us for the Crows game starting at 4 o'clock this afternoon. But this game today promises to be an absolute beauty. I cannot, hand on heart, pick a winner, Phil. So when you do ask me for my tip, it will be a guess only.
Well, it might come down to how us experts preview the teams. Also part of the crew, he is the voice of the Adelaide Footy League, the coach's coach, Tony Neal. Good afternoon, Tony.
Good afternoon, Phil and Sean. And just on that, Sean, I actually picked the draw the other night on the show for the other game. So, yeah, it's interesting. So if you're watching just in the background at the moment, the wind is coming from left to right. And we'll cover that a little bit later on. It's a bit of a different day. At the moment, glorious sunshine out there, and yeah, what a day for it. And it is going to be hard to pick. Rostrevor Old Collegians have got a bit of form coming into it, but Princes have also got a little bit of form. I know they've got a couple out, just talking to a few people, but finals bring a different element to the game, don't they? Nerves, adrenaline, all of these things going on. Yeah, no code.
Yep.
Young bloke stepping up. So, no, looking forward to it, gentlemen. And as you said, over the back there, about 200 metres away for a mad keen Richmond supporter. The Tigers will probably get up over there as well. But this is what it's all about today, gentlemen.
We are sitting here amongst all the punters in the bar as well. So starting off pretty quiet, but this could get rowdy as the afternoon progresses, gentlemen.
Could be a host of special comments as the afternoon progresses.
A couple of celebrities in the crowd too. I noticed the PAC supporters. Rob Gerard, very benevolent man around Adelaide with his contribution to different sporting clubs, which is terrific to see. And Darren Thomas of the Thomas Butchery fame is also here supporting PAC.
Oh, yes. Is that Thomas Farm?
Yeah, Thomas Farms.
Yeah,
He's got the horse
Farms.
running. He's got his horse
Yep.
running at 2:10, I think, $6.50 if you want to get on.
And that thing would want to win, mate, if he's a butcher. Just quietly.
And hello there to Tony and Jane Grevin, friends of ours, who've got a 10% share in that horse and have been pretty excited by the run that it's had. Won't be quite like listening to Macca's horse Get Up Gee Train a few weeks ago, but nonetheless, exciting.
Go, Tony.
I tell you how exciting it is here. The game hasn't even started. Now Statsman Lockie had the shirt off a minute ago.
He did.
In the established club rooms here, and I said, hello, he's gone early, he's celebrating, but no, he's just putting on the official paraphernalia for the day.
Wasn't considering a streak, was he? Was
Oh,
he
I'll
at
tell
that
you
stage? Is he Lockie?
Could be a closet
that-
Prince's lad or District's lad.
That would be early.
Yep.
4.25 of the reserves. 11 and a half minutes gone. Port Districts by 12 points. Let's get into the game, gentlemen. Let's start with the hosts. This is a home game for Prince Alfred. Moved to Uni Oval today. Well, they joined Division 1 in 2016 and they won back-to-back premierships. Div 2 in 2015, premiers in 2016, and they've been around the mix. Even the year they missed the finals was a 9-9 season. Last year, just 4 points separated them from another Div 1 premiership. They're 6-4 at the moment. Finished the minor round third. They would at least, well, they were the premiership favourites to start off with. Let's have a look at their season in 2020. Started off with 3 straight wins, including a round 3 win over Rostrevor. And then something that Jacko highlighted, and I'll let him share, but let's just say after that you can see some inconsistency after that, struggling to get any form line together. Last week they went to Goodwood. They lost by 12 points, even though they had more scoring shots. So, having set that up, let's go to Jacko with his thoughts on Prince Alfred.
Yeah, well, as you alluded to there, Phil, their form has been nothing but inconsistent since round 3. Well, I guess if you consider it's been win-loss, 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 it's been consistent in the win-loss. If that
The
makes
yo-yo
sense.
team.
Yes. So the other observation about them is that their kicking for goal and some of the losses has been abysmal, highlighted by last week's effort. But over the course of the season, they've kicked 98 goals and 98 points. So a little bit of breeze here today. They'd want to be hoping that they kick a little bit better. And the thing that amazes me about that is traditionally over the last few years, what they've been known at is a very good kicking side, particularly out of the back half. I'll give them that. But they are a side that likes to kick the ball with precision, coming out of the back half and creating their loose play along those lines. So 98 is not a good return by any stretch of the imagination, but the 3 keys to the game today that I've identified, first of all, is can they improve that goal kicking? And they'll need to. They can't afford to go like they did last week and expect to win. That's the first thing. Can they maintain that sequence? If they do, they're due for a win. They're coming off a loss last week, so it means win-loss, 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 win this week. Completes that.
I like it.
And then the third thing was, would they bring Jack Trengove back? Well, it appears we do now have their sheet, and Jack Trengove, unfortunately, is not playing. I would bet London to a brick that if they get through this week, he will play next week. We've just seen a big collision out there in the B grade. I copped a pretty nasty whack there. So that's disappointing for the PAC fans that Jack Trengove, who we thought was going to be a star. Obviously, Jack Stevens is coming to the team late in the year, which is a fantastic pickup. He's only played the 3 games, but Jack Trengove started the season in exceptional fashion, kicked the first 5 games, high in the best players every game, and it'll be interesting to see how he polls in the medal on Monday night, whether the umpires recognise him in that count.
So the team list is up. Now, this was before we got a late change. Chris Pitchard is the sole inclusion of the 22 named. As you can see, no number 9, Jack Trengove. But there has been, Jacko, a late change for Princes, in terms of Tom Wicks being omitted, and in comes number 7, Ryan Trimans.
Ryan's played a fair bit of A-grade footy, so he's no stranger to playing at the level. And Wicks, part of the Mitch Tom wine variety, which is not a bad red if you can get it from Wicks Estate. Not playing today, so gave them a lot of publicity last time we called them, and still yet to receive any wine from the Wicks Estate. And certainly if anyone from there is listening today, I am a
Open
fan
to offers?
and more than happy to partake. I do not have to not accept any goods coming my way, so I look forward to a carton of Wick's steak.
Carton?
Well, yeah.
It's gone hard.
You're gonna give a bottle. Don't muck around. Let's get a carton out to Tennyson this week of Wick's estate.
So those are team selections thanks to Interchange. Jackie, were there a couple of players that we should be watching today?
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to track, first of all, from a midfielder point of view, we're going to track, who are we tracking, Lockie, in the midfield? Hayden Jolly, who last time we here cut it to pieces, would have had almost 35 touches, I reckon. No one went near him the day we saw him play Adelaide Uni early in the season, so I don't reckon you'll get the same freedom from Rostrevor today, but it'll be interesting to see. And we are also tracking, no, that's from Rostrevor, from PAC, Jake Pitt, who I think is right up there with the leading goal kickers in the competition. He'll probably play centre forward, and wouldn't surprise me if he's in that position in the Team of the Year, which will be announced in the next week or so, Tony.
That is correct, Sean. Yes, very good player. And interesting, when I did that thing about the teams and their kryptonite and so on, he was one of the ones, they tend to play a certain game style around the outside. They can load up, they can go through the middle, far side, whatever. But he does a lot of sacrificial running. So he puts himself into a position where he runs, he takes a very good backman with him, but might not actually get used. But he keeps doing it.
One of the things we also spoke about before was the fact that I think there's 3 playing coaches in this competition this year, and all, funnily enough, play themselves in the same position. Now,
yes.
If I was going to ask you what position you'd like to play in a game of footy, what position would you like to play?
Full forward.
Oh, full forward. Well, most people would say they'd like to play loose in the back lines.
Oh,
don't have to stand anyone.
And
funnily enough,
too.
Craig Pitt likes to play that role for PAC, and Willow Valley likes to play that role for Rostrevor, and out at Payneham Norwood Union,
Jay Spode
likes to play that position.
Phil.
So
and Jackie, you would like to play loose anyway, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, I've been called loose
just
many
a
times.
question on Princes as well. Who do you think will play ruck? Will Delwood's been the centre-half back. Who do you think might be the ruckman?
Nick Clayfield could, but I'm not sure whether he's got the fitness or the tank to do it. So I'm a bit unsure as to who the guy who we watched last time is not playing today. So I'm not exactly sure whether Will Delwood starts in the ruck. He could certainly do it, but he's very good value for him at centre-half back.
Will be an early matchup for us to keep an eye on. Of course, this is the pre-game show thanks to Dartfish and Lens Surgery. For all your team photo needs, lenssurgery.com. As Princes go forward, they trail by 11 points, 18.5 gone. Let's have a look at Rostrevor, the old collegians, aka Rocks. Probably been the most consistent side. They've made the finals all the way through the last few years, 2 premierships, including 2017. Runners-up 2018, third last year, and a good chance to be right in the mix again in 2020. We have a look at their season, and they're probably coming good at the right end, as we see that they're a bit inconsistent, especially in the middle of the season. That loss to Adelaide Uni almost cost them a final spot, but 4 wins in succession. And have a look at those margins. Athelston 73, Brighton 89 and 67. Admittedly, Brighton were struggling as they got towards the end of the season, but if you're looking at teams in form, Tony, you'd probably say that would be Rocks at the moment.
Well, you're exactly right, and you've picked it there, Phil. I had down the last 3 games, they've won by over 50 points. Well, it's well over 50 points, so they're travelling quite well at the moment. Just one thing on a side, and a serious one here, Sean, not a joke. They do have if I was the coach, I'd be in shaky boots because they tend to move them on quite quickly if you don't win a premiership, you know. So that tends to be the case down there. So it'd be interesting with one of their own what happens there. So let's get on to the keys to the game. And the first one I would say is adaptation. So the good thing that Rostrevor have got, they've got a flexible game plan that's very handy. So they can go down the outside, through the middle, round the other side, switch a play. It'll be interesting with the weather today. And a major key to winning finals is their flexibility and adaptation. Speed, tempo, switch, skill, vision, decision making, and the run and carry are all keys. The second one is I believe they've got a strong backline. It's interesting though. They play as a team within a team in that backline, but they seem to create a spare Will O'Malley, although last week he played a little bit on the ball as well, but he tends to drift back, uses his left foot. It'd be interesting to see. I would love to see maybe a Jolly or someone go forward and try and get the matchup, which you allude to a fair bit, Sean. I like that theory. Get a matchup on them, make it 7-on-7 or
Make it
whatever.
accountable, yeah.
Just see what happens there. So they also have a strong knowledge of each other's capabilities. So who is left foot, right foot, who goes short, who goes long, who handballs, and that comes over time. So I think that's another one of their strengths. The question mark for me is how are they going to go in a close game? They've won their last 3 games all by over 50 points. Will they be able to stand up if it's a close game? Now, they've got some young players in there, and I really like young Stefan Lanzoni, a young guy who's playing his first year of senior football. There's probably a couple more in there as well, but if you get into a close game, it becomes mental as much as physical, and they've had some easy games. So in a close game, will they be able to stand up? So I'm looking forward to that. The players to watch, we're going to watch number 18, Sam Jonas. So he's normally at centre-half back, and, geez, he just racked up touches last week, Sean, and he racked them up the other time we saw them. Gets a lot of possession.
Will he stand? He likes to play on the last line. Will he stand Jake Pitt? I would imagine if you were coaching, you'd say he takes the best forward.
He might have to be the player for it. He's a good, big, solid lad. He won the beanie there a couple of weeks back, and geez, I just like the way he plays, but this is that bit I was talking about, close games. What are they going to do?
You talk about a flexible game plan. Well, that's a flexible position plan, because if he's to stand Pitt, he comes off the last line, which means Holland goes to the last line, and that means he picks up Tom Bartlett. And I reckon that's a win for PAC. So,
hands full. So the next one, of course, is number 10, Craig Home. As we see a couple of Crows supporters just gliding by, I'd be interested to see whether they even bother going over the road. This will be the better game. So Craig Home, of course, number 10 is the other one to watch. Midfield, I've put down a couple of others. Fantasia, number 16, maybe at centre forward. Bacanello, our best player last week, high up in the middle, I'd suggest. Number 22, Murphy Short. Number 20,
good
Nick
last
Murphy.
week, wasn't he? Really good.
Really good.
Yep.
I want to keep an eye on Lanzoni, young bloke in a pressure game. And the other one, Phil, I know you'll love this one. Number 17, Kieran Holland. Didn't have a top game last week, but if he can get his hands going, we have seen him do some damage in the back line.
Did kick a goal last week as a defender, something you don't know.
Yeah, he's
definitely a highlight.
You've lost all your credibility as commentator.
He's a fair player. He's a fair player.
No wonder I'm here to do the analysis.
No bias, Sean.
Turnover king.
No bias, Sean. He could... Look, he could turn it on, and he could be the saviour for him. He could be up here getting a beanie and a voucher.
Just
call him Apple.
A couple of points, Tony. I will come back to you to wrap up. The reserves game is over. First semi-final. Prince's season is done in the Bees. Port District 6-10-46. Prince's 4-12-36. They'll play the loser of the second semi-final between Goody Saints and St. Peter's, which is also the actual second semi-final in the A grade. And just that team that was up there, we do have the 2 players that are admitted. They were Swanbury and Fasani not playing. So one change for Rocks, Tony. Michael Code, whose nose just blew out of all proportion, unfortunately, early last week. He's the out. Thomas McCormick is the in for Rostrevor.
Be nice to find out how bad Cody is, whether he's able to play next week if they get up. Normally with a broken nose, you don't miss any footy at all with a broken nose. It's just a cartilage thing, and you can get it repaired at the end of the year. So I'm suggesting there must have been something more to it other than just a broken nose.
And I say this in a nice way. There was the picture that we got shown through the week by the... Go on.
No, you're right.
There? Yeah, and picture that we saw through the week. And it was like there was a nose with a head attached to it. Yeah. That's how big it was, the poor bloke. I've been through it. A couple of black eyes, noses. Here they come, Sean.
Yeah, just looking at PAC run out now, mate. You looking for the height, who's going to play second ruck. The Clayfield is the obvious one along with Will Dowwood. So I'm not sure who rucks outside of that duo. So it'll be an interesting matchup because Butterfield has been in pretty good form for Rostrevor. So PAC want to be on their game.
Jeez, it does.
So Rostrevor take the field. Of course, they head from the outer change rooms. One of the unique things that we have here at University Oval. The visitors get their own little hut. But they have played once this season. That was in round 3. And it was Princes, who I mentioned, won their first 3 games. And you can see there they won by 27 points, 13-12, 99-63. Jake Pitt, Tom Bartlett kicked 4 goals each. Michael Code bagged 4 for Rocks. They won't have his services today. Interesting, since that game, Princes, the yo-yo, 3-4, Rocks 5-2. And if we have a very quick look at previous encounters, this is since Prince Alfred came into Div 1 in 2016. 10 encounters, 5 wins each. They're perennial finalists, but have only actually met in one final in the last 5 years. That was last year's qualifier, won by Prince Alfred. And Princes, they have a 3-game winning streak against Rocks at the moment. Well, it's time, we're expecting plenty of activity on the field. I think there might be plenty of activity on its way to the ground, Tony. Thanks to the Elders weather app. Fill us in on the ground conditions.
Well, it's actually currently 24.5 degrees, so it's beautiful at the moment. However, the rain, if you go on the radar, geez, I'll tell you what, it looks like it's going to come. It'll be interesting here because I've got the map of Australia on the synoptic chart here, and it's telling us rain is up north. So I spoke with Ben O'Donoghue today. His brother lives at Port Pirie. It's absolutely buckling down up there. So it's actually coming from the northeast. So as you're looking on screen, it's going to come from the far left-hand side of the ground down towards the bottom of the screen on the right if it comes in. So a little bit of conjecture because the clouds are up there at the moment, but it's not raining. So some people outside are saying, yes, it's going to rain, and then others are saying, well, no, it's not. So we'll keep an eye on that through the day.
It's just out of range at the moment, but we'll see it coming from our vantage point here in the University grandstand.
Quick score update. Flinders Park have won the B grade final, so they're straight through into the grand final next week, along with their C grade, and their A grade are playing against North Haven today to make it
and the
3 from 3.
Plimpton won the prelim.
I was there.
It's Plimpton and Flinders in the granny next week.
Correct.
It'll be on. I reckon we should do an early stream to warm up.
Unfortunately, Plimpton have lost the B grade though, Phil. They're out of the B grade, but they are still alive in the C's.
There's a faint flicker of some success this season for the mighty Plimpton Bulldogs. Moving along, of course, we do have, and thanks, of course, to Elders for the weather app. We'll be referring to that a fair bit today. Tony's doing double duty with no Ben Tippett. Food item. Prince's, it's their home ground. They brought the barbecue.
Haven't they got some people?
And that is the Euros roll.
Wow. And
some of the volunteers, they're key part of any football club. New price is right. Tell me how much that cost.
$7.
$6.50.
Jacko's had one before. $7, spot on. Well done.
Phil,
that's a fair price.
I'd ask you to go through that layer by layer, mate, but we'd be here till the end of the end of the game.
It's lettuce, tomato, onion, gyros, meat, garlic sauce. Not something you rush. That's all I can say.
Well, a lot of money being raised by PAC here today on the barbecue. That's be put back over the bar tonight.
Well, I hope you're not rushing off at quarter time either.
No, mate, I already had mine. It's all good. That's why I get here early. The umpires, of course, a key part of today's game. Let's give them their due credit pre-game. Tony Simons and Robert Kane have the field duties. Nathan Swincer and Andrew Roberts the boundary. Jason Rigg and Leek Terry are waving the flags for the umpire today. Of course, it's one of two, and Tony, I'll get you to keep an eye on the coin toss as I quickly introduce the second semi-final. In fact, we might just maybe take that down for a second, have a look at the coin toss.
So, umpires.
Sorry, I'm doing your job as producer.
Princes have gone with the win to the right of screen.
Excellent, and that is Tom Brinsley wearing 42. So the second semi-final, only got a couple of minutes here. It is St. Peter's and Goody Saints. Spock on a 4-game winning streak. Goody Saints 7. Spock won by 6 in round 2. Spock looking to play their first Div 1 grand final since 2012. Goody Saints since 2015. Tony, who will be the first team in the grand final this year?
First team in the grand final, I would suggest Goodwood Saints. I tipped that as a draw. Yeah. And
Jacko?
I said, they'll get up in extra time.
I think Goodwood. No, I think. I'll go with Goodwood Saints.
Yeah, look, I tend to think Goody Saints. I mean, we are biased because we saw them last week absolutely demolish Brighton. A couple of other games, plenty of other prelim final days. Although semi-finals in Div 2, Henley Old Ignatians, Tea Tree Gully, Sacred Old Collegians. You can see that the prelim finals, North Haven, Flinders Park, the winner to play Golden Grove, Pembroke playing Walkerville to play Hope Valley next week, Kenilworth, Kerneley Gardens to play Lockleys, St Paul's swoosh against Blackfriars to play Hectorville, and Adelaide Lutheran and our Crabs from Flinders Uni to play Brahma Lodge. And there are some under-18 games we'll go through a little bit later because, there are the games there and they will be streamed.
And commentated.
Exactly right. Tony is so excited that he gets to call some under-18s footy tomorrow. Teams about to break their huddles. Let's go to Tony for your tip and margin, please.
My tip is Rostrevor Old Collegians, 15 points, I reckon.
Jacko.
My tip is PAC by 9 points.
Well, she's on.
And I'm just struggling to think that PAC could be out in straight sets, so I'm going to tip them by maybe 3 goals. Alrighty, we've introduced all the teams, we've introduced the umpires, we've covered the other games. Teams are breaking. I'll hand you over to Sean Jackson and Tony Neal to talk us through some matchups and the call of the contest.
Well, Sean, if you can just go through what you've got there, I'll keep an eye on the 4 in the middle and take us through to the first bounce. So if you want to run through a couple now, mate, while you go.
Yeah, we were intrigued by who will stand who in terms of the back half from Rostrevor, who Holland will match up on and who Jonas will match up on. Certainly Will Doward looks like he's going forward, which is a surprise for me. I thought he would have been playing centre-half back. So that's a shake-up. Who stands Will Doward? Looks like it's going to be Jonas going to Doward. So that's an interesting move on behalf of PAC. No, Doward's actually pushing himself to the last line, which means he's going to be picked up by Holland. Massive advantage in the air, and Jonas has got the job on. Well, currently it's hard to see because there's only 4 PAC forwards that have moved down there, and Jonas is standing number 25.
So umpire holds the ball aloft. Up they go. Oh, a little tap backwards by Rostrevor there in the middle of the ground. And I did see Will O'Malley started in the middle as well, and Jolly. So that'll be a good matchup. So ball just down into the forward line for Princes here, and taking the ground. Player throws his arms in the air was Murphy Short, who was a very good player last week. Umpire comes in, and Sean, it's on the 50-metre line.
Yeah, and it looks like we were right. Nick Clayfield in the ruck up against Butterworth. He's certainly got some size or some kilos on Butterworth. Not sure he's going to have the tank to run all day on him, so it'll be interesting to see how that match pans out. Ball now on the wing. Craig Holm got it, kicks around the corner. Nick Murphy comes out of it, but there's 2-on-1. PAC, Dylan Reinbrett keeps it alive, pushes it forward towards Paul Fantasia. Unlucky not to get one for too high. Around the corner goes Jordan. Shot on goal. Unfortunately, the ball trickles through, and that's our first score for the day, ladies and gentlemen. 1 point to Rostrevor.
James Jordan kicked a bag of points last week in the opening quarter against Brighton. So first score to Rocks, albeit a behind. So it's with Tommy Bartlett, edge of the goal square. He continues down the corridor to Jack Stevens, a very, very handy defensive recruit for Princess when Jack Trenkove went down. Right now, hot footy in the middle. Good pick up by Daniel McCullum. Here's hand pass. I think the manual ends up being stopped. So it's got a stoppage in the centre square. The breeze, I think, is favouring to the right. That is the end that Princes, who won the toss, are kicking to in this first quarter. Just paddling it forward, trying to get some advantage. Eventually getting a hand on it was, I think, Dematius. He gets it across to Daniel McCullum. They've got the loose player here, back in LA. It sits. He's off from centre wing. Kicks it towards inside 50. Deep penetration, but missed the target. It's going to be a throw-in. Or is it? No, it's going to be a free downfield. I thought everyone stopped a bit early. And Nick Murphy's going to have it. Maybe the first shot of the game from inside 50.
Yeah, you can call it, Phil. If he's having a shot,
having a shot, all right. Get back, he tells the spectators, which are nicely ringed around the oval. Sort of a makeshift human fence, you might say. Murphy's kick, if it curls back, is half a chance. If it's socket off the ground, it's half a chance. In the end, watch that behind post swinging back and forth. Tom Sumner sees it over. So Rostrevor Old Collegians 2, Prince Alfred Old Collegians 0.
And just that kick in has missed the target. So handball run and carry through the middle. Like to see that. Long kick inside the 50 now. Holland's back there. Can he atone for last week? Gets onto it. Geez, he's got his hands full there with Delwood. Round on the left foot they come. A nice mark there to Charles Jordan. Doesn't want to slow down. Takes it out the other side. Home, who we said keep an eye on. Out he comes, long handball to Dematius on the left foot. Doesn't quite hit it properly. The ruckman, Big Butterworth, was good last week. Can't quite get hold of it. Taken strongly in a tackle. Riley Robinson. Ball still in play. It's actually quite willing at the moment, but a lot of missed targets, a little bit clumsy at the moment. The nerves and adrenaline, the first 10 minutes, they need to shake them out. Umpires, it might have been 25 there. Free kick here to Prince Alfred on the commentating side or grandstand side, just looking down, holding it up for a long, long time. Players mill in the middle, a huge pack forms. Up they go. Down it comes. Butterworth it was who just paddled it to the ground. Ball free in the 50. Geez, this way, that way. Baccanello. Back he goes. Holland, look out. And there it is. There's the smother.
Yeah,
Gets a second. So he's picked up 2 stats. Left foot, right foot. High kick out that far side. And it is out of bounds on that far side. Sean.
You're going to give him a stat for that kick that got smothered off the boot. You're very generous.
There's 2.
Well, I reckon that's 2 to Doward, 0 to Holland. Ball being bowled in just outside the 50 for PAC. Clayfield up against Butterworth. Ball goes towards Jolly. Flicks it out the back now. PAC is struggling to get the ball clear. O'Malley's got it now. He's under a bit of pressure though. He's had to give it quickly to Jordan. He whips it around his body. Ball unable to get out into any space, although PAC look like they're trying to work the ball away from the stoppage with handball. But that's a quick kick under pressure and well marked by Tom O'Malley, the brother of the coach, Will O'Malley. He changes the play to Tim Baccanello. They're going to have to watch him. PAC was in dynamite form last week. He's now switched to Holland. This is the kick that's got a hit. Watch this. Can it? God, he goes, is that legal? Not sure.
3 metres.
Dulio Tematius
Didn't
does
stop
it
to
well.
wait to find out.
They're running the ball nicely away from Will Doward. That's going to be a problem for PAC. Craig Holm was at about 3 or 4 touches already. That's his left foot kick. Top of the square was a beautiful kick, but it's ended up with Murphy short, I think, around the body. That
Manuel.
looks pretty good. Is that Luke Manuel?
Yep.
It is. Luke Manuel, he scores the first goal, and he's a player that certainly needs to be watched because he is a beautiful kicker of the football.
Interesting tactic with the inside 50. Find the defender, put it on top of his head and put the pressure on.
A lot of handballs by Prince Alfred down the ground that way and then back this side by Rostrevor.
Yeah. Yep. Already early, boys, that ball's gone deep into PAC's forward 50 a few times, and that big Will Doward down there on the last line, that's not his go when the ball hits the ground. So unless he's going to take marks up there, that'd be a concern for me. I'm maybe bringing him out to centre half forward or pushing him back into the back lines. Be interesting to see what PAC do with him over the course of the day, Phil.
Yeah, into a bit of a breeze. It's been all rocks on the scoreboard thus far. Baccanello, another clearance, and Kiki wants a second beanie. Wants the pair, of course, thanks to Moseley Bar and Kitchen. Maybe he wants the extra $100 voucher that he picked up last week as well. So Rocks have it just outside of 50 here. This is Dylan Reinbrett, who kicked a nice goal on the move last week. This is to the hot spot, top of the square. Lanzoni lurking by the boundary line sees it over, and it will be a throw-in. So Tony's going to head down, be the Ben Tippett at quarter time, go to the huddles and
intrepid.
maybe check the wind factor. Certainly doesn't seem to be an issue. Rocks have gone forward with ease thus far.
And getting some length on the kick too, Phil.
That's the key part. Clayfield with the tap in front. Oh, I thought for a second there that Bartlett was taken without the ball. But Princes get the kick. You can see a bouncing ball. Attacking it hard was Holland. Met straight away by Fisher. It's going to be Rocks footy. This is O'Donoghue, but intercepted by 34, Campbell Wildman, and Tony, the Princes are away.
Oh, and could be in for a collision. No, very strong Jonas.
Courage.
He's just had 2 possessions well himself, and also the courage shown by Holland earlier as well turned it over for them. So they're going really well down back. So Murphy it is now out front, trying to lead to the ball. Can't quite. He's been caught well there, and good chase down by number 42, who is Tom Brinsley in reverse of the 24 that we've been shown. Nice diving mark there. Waiting for him to light up, Sean. Fantasia, he showed so much last week. He probably got to 10 balls and didn't mark him. He's got to 1 today. Beautiful fly and couldn't hold it. He's clutched this one 35 to 40 out. The wind will be coming directly across from his right shoulder, straight across. So this is going to be a little bit of a difficult kick. If he can get hold of it, probably at the right post, it might swing across the goals a little bit. So steps in. Bit of a helicopter, doesn't make the distance, so punch through by number 20 is Riley Robinson.
Discover interesting looking for the bus route here that this ground I thought naturally was north-south. It's actually not. It's actually a fair bit north-east-southwest.
Well, there we go, and they've got the electric scooters coming around the boundary on the other side there, just interestingly. That's how close to the city we are.
Haven't seen one of those at a footy game before.
Prince Alfred now, just a short kick into the pocket. You'll get that first one. I'm looking at how they structure up. Now, this is what they do. They've got a player running out wide this side. And he's still coming now. He's coming to the interchange bench. Anyway, down it goes. But they'll have a look. Don't worry, they'll bring one on. Look, he's having a look inside. He's got a player leading with arms out wide. They're really holding it up. They want to get this ball inside and get it out to this side. Look at 33. He'll hover out here. Into the middle. That's a nice kick. Just interesting. This lad here, Lockie Charlson, might be the third ruckman because Delwood normally is down back. He's up forward today. I reckon they're going to change it full forward. So ball's bobbling around. There he is again, Charlton. Bit of an on-baller. He's a tall on-baller. Looks like a young bloke. Umpire holds his hand up and says, give it here, boys. Let me ball it up. So interesting. It's going to be a throw-in. The players all separate and go back to set spots all around the ground. There's not really a big huddle just in where this throw-in goes. No one behind, my favourite thing. Out it comes. Ruckman's got 2 or 3 possessions in there. I like to see that. He's had a kick and a couple of handballs today. So ball out on that far side. Oh, strong tackle there, Ben O'Donoghue. Yep. Premiership player up at Port Broughton. He's given one back. Played a bit on the peninsula as well.
Right, I have a breath, mate. So what looks like happening is Tommy Bartlett. He played a lot of good football for him loose in the back half, number 11. Played most of this season and last season as a forward. He's gone back today, and that's allowed Will Dowwood to go forward. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. He does like to get the loose player, Tommy. You can see him running back long into defence there by himself. Anyway, it's gone in the direction of Nick Murphy. Does it well against Brinsley. Handball's off to Dawson, running into an open goal. Is he good enough? He is. So I'm just concerned at the moment that the PAC matchups, or the way they position their players, isn't working for them. Bartlett have no influence there whatsoever, and Dowwood having no influence at the other end of the ground.
Great work rate by Dawson. He was the one who kicked it to Murphy and ran on to create the extra man.
Yep, no, he's a dangerous player, Patrick Dawson. We'll see Tony, if you can work out who's on Dawson, that's going to be a critical matchup. It might be Bartlett that starts him. It is. No, Bartlett's just setting up as... Yes, no, Bartlett's gone to Dawson now, but he likes to try and be the free player. I don't reckon you can be the free player if you're standing someone of Dawson's qualities. We're into the middle. Same 2 ruckmen go at it. Who will win this one? Clayfield? No. Goes in the hands of Butterworth. Ryan Brett gets it, but only as far as a good, strong tackle. Ball now spilling out. It's in the hands of Chris Pritchard. He now wheels around onto his left foot, searching for Ollie Clark. Takes a nice catch. He's looking to bring it inboard to Hayden Jolly there. Nothing doing. And this is where they need Dowwood. If they're going to kick long, they need him on the end of it. Goes towards Pitt. That's a great mark. Jake Pitt. Now he wheels around. This is not going to get there for Dowwood, I don't think. It doesn't. Ball hits the ground. Good contest by Ben O'Donoghue. Umpire says no. Settle down, crowd. No holding the ball.
Yeah, very quickly, the inside 50s just on that last one. 4 to Prince Alfred, 6 to Rocks. Holmes had 3 possessions, 7 turnovers to Prince Alfred and 2 to Rocks.
Okay. Ball spills and spills. It is that man there, Holm, who gets it out with a handball. Only as far as Jordan, but it's been marked by Hayden Jolly. Outside 50. This will give us a good indication, boys, of what the breeze is like. Sitting up here in our closed shelters, we can't really feel the breeze at all. We thought the breeze was pushing to the right-hand side. This will give us an idea. Jolly winds up, got a bit of carry on. Don't think it's going to get the distance. It doesn't. No value whatsoever in a kick that goes to the middle of the square. If you can't make the distance, you've got to lay it up at the top of the square so they can get some crumbs to it. Otherwise, you get what you got, which is a boundary throw-in.
Probably not a bad result, the throw-in, rather than the concede rush behind in this situation, but we are 12 and a half minutes in. The team with the breeze is yet to trouble the scoreboard attendants, and they're not going to hear because it looks like some good work. Some interference run there by Tromans, but it looks like Holm, amongst others, are going to be good enough to get the clearance, although not with any great depth, and there's a mark in the middle of all of that.
Pitt, I think it is, Phil.
Yeah, yep, and so he's going to go back and have the shot. And this is really the first set shot. Well, Jolly's was outside of 50. Craig Pitt.
Need this one.
35 goals from his 35 games for the Red Men.
A lot of interchanges coming as well, just in that little break.
Yeah, well, what are we now? 13 minutes in, usually a time of changeover. One thing I do notice is that there is a really good crowd here today.
There is a good crowd. Wonder if they'll stay if it rains.
Well, they'll come in here. I'll try to. The kick is wide to the skinny side, as they say these days. That is a score for for Prince Alfred. It is only a behind. They trail Rocks by 14 points.
So Murphy Short, he's got a great kick on him. We saw this last week. Dare I say it, what's going to happen here? He's not real sure, though. So good pressure by Princes. He still kicks that 60 metres out. Nice, big, one-handed, clunking mark. I reckon
Fantasia
that's Fantasia, is it?
Yep.
Geez, a lot. So that I was just saying before to Sean off air, the amount of players that have come into probably a 60-metre area. So Rocks have messed this up, come back inside with that dangerous kick. Oh, Princes can't quite get it through. Free kick given to Rocks. Now, they spread wide. They've got players out here. They come out this side. So O'Malley, he'll use it well. Got a player free. Anthony McCarthy it is, and McCarthy it is. So McCarthy, nice boots, just about trips himself over. The next kick, O'Malley's still free. Comes down the line. Geez, needs strong hands, and they're not there for Holland. So this is a dangerous turnover. Prince has a lot of numbers, but those scrappy handballs are going to be costly today. Umpire says, I'll come in and ball it up, thank you, right in front of our central commentary position. Big ruckman thunders in, the big fella Clayfield, puts the one hand up and just says, I'll take that one, thank you. On the ground, it's what happens next, according to Lee Matthews. So O'Malley misses the ball completely, like he had a numb foot there. Anyway, out of bounds. Most unlike Will O'Malley to miss the ball completely, normally a good kick.
Yep. So what I'm seeing already, boys, is the Rostrevor player in front of the PAC over most of the ground. They're at the ball first. And when the ball hits the ground inside the PAC forward 50, Rostrevor run the ball out very easily. Lack of pressure from PAC in their forward half at the moment. Pitt's got it, been gang tackled by Rostrevor here. Jordan, amongst others. Umpire Robert Kane, give that one to me, boys. I'll throw it up. 25 for Rostrevor is Tom McCormack. Now Reinbrecht's got it. Unlucky not to get a free kick. Dulio Tumatius around the corner looking for Nick Murphy. That's a good mark. Paid. It already looks dangerous for me, Nick Murphy, as does Paul Fantasia. Their two key forwards are looking like they're on today. They're having trouble running with them. Brinsley up against Fantasia now in this contest. Brinsley, good experience campaigner, punches the way with the left hand. Ball spills to the front. Tullio Dematius onto it, but not able to take it cleanly. Pitt gets it. Kicks it under a bit of pressure. Ball squeezed towards the boundary line, and we'll have a relieving throw-in. But some good heat there.
Just saw Tim Baccanello when that mark was taken. Geez, he moved down into forward and he zigzagged. He came round. He was ready to crumb. They couldn't go with him.
Already they look a bit fitter, don't they?
4 goals last week. Baccanello wanted some more. So it's Tom O'Malley. He's flattened into the ground by Lockie McNamara. Princes are away there. They've gone through the corridor. Darwood's got about 3 to beat, though, and he's not going to do that.
No, it's not working for him.
Holland's got it out towards in the Baccanello direction. It's going to spill towards the boundary. Princes have the numbers, and they're going to keep it in. Now, it's with Tromans working it. Ollie Clark under pressure. Got the hand pass away. Just tapping it forward to where there's some maroon. In numbers, Tromans again. 1-2, getting it on the stat sheet. Then gets upended and holding the ball for the first time this afternoon. Free kick to Rostrevor. Baccanello takes it, kicks down the wing, eventually thumped out by frustration by Tommy Bartlett. And we will have a throw. And chance to reset, 17 gone. Rostrevor Old Collegians 2-3-15. Prince Alfred with the breeze, just 1 behind, and you're with Tony Neal.
And it's a little bit of a run and carry game because once again all the players now are in one half of the ground. Scrambling kick it forward again. This player's had a fair bit of it. Dematius gets the handball out. They like doing this handball business, but geez, they've got a hit. Player given too much space was McCallum, but on to O'Malley very quickly. Here's another inside 50. Guess what?
Jones.
Called it before. Hit on top of the Rostrevor player. So he's got 2 options here. Holland's been good early. Nice, courageous play. Out the other side it goes. They've still got players set up this side of the ground. So a little bit of tempo now. Players.
Just a quick thing. You know how you talked about the A's, St. Peter's and Goodwood, being a draw going into extras?
Yep.
You're a game early. The Bees did.
Well, there you go. Didn't say which grade.
Yep.
Anyway, mark on the far side. Umpire's going to raffle it. He's going to say, that'll be mine. Good 50-50 here. Interesting, Clayfield's done most of the rucking. So pushes the body in. Out the Rostrevor. Another clearance. Reinbrecht is going to play a very good game today, I reckon. He's just one of those in and under gutsy players. Murphy held on to. flicks it out. Players running past. Oh, along the ground. I like the try there by Stefan Lanzoni. See how many times I can get his name right today.
Yeah, that's one. Very impressive.
So,
drop punt from the goal umpire.
Free
Beautiful.
kick here.
Sign him
Did
up,
you get
someone.
a stat for that?
Someone
So-
sign him up.
Prince Alfred, I might go out and talk to him at quarter time. Prince Alfred now they're looking for the switch. They haven't done it much today.
Bartlett, I think, mate.
Yeah, he's looking in at centre half back. So now he goes down the wing. Geez, unusual kicking style. Pops it up on the head, unable to take it. Guess who again? Demetrius pumps it back inside 50 to a Prince's player. Maybe it's the colours again, Phil.
Yep.
Anyway, here they come. This is the switch I was talking about earlier when everyone was laughing at me, but this is what they like to do. Player holding the ball up. Campbell, wild man. Gets it across. Wild handball it was. Jess pushes off. Daniel McCallum thinks he's dusty. Dylan Reinbrecht around he goes. Will O'Malley might have just popped that on the full. And he has Sean just about down the ditch there. Look at that.
He has indeed, and looks like Lockie McNamara will bring the ball back in. No, it's not. It was Tom Sumner. They switch a play out to the middle, and you're right, they do like to switch the play in the half, but guys, I can't keep going on about this. It's where 19, 20 minutes nearly gone, and PAC forward structure is not working for them. They need to do something about it.
I agree.
Don't get to half time and go, well, it's time to reassess what's going on. They're getting smashed inside their forward 50, and it's not working for them. They need to look at what they're doing there.
I reckon every time bar one, it's gone inside 50. It's gone down the throat of a Rostrevor player.
Yep, and then we'll have a look at the inside 50 stats a little bit later, but it's glaringly obvious from where we sit. Anyway, Will O'Malley forced onto the right foot, kicks it forward. Good contest from Nick Murphy and Tom Brinsley. Ball spills to the front. I like that contest. That's 50-50 at this stage. Murphy, as I said a couple of minutes ago, looks like he's on today. And Brinsley's been a good season campaigner as a skipper for PAC for many a year. Umpire throws the ball in. And number 25 for Rostrevor, Lockie Charlton has spent a fair bit of time in the... not Lockie Charlton, sorry. Tom McCormack has spent a fair bit of time in the ruck at this stage. Holm has had plenty of it. That one not the greatest, but... knocked off the ground by Jordan in the Ward's Fantasia. He's done it well. He's got a fair bit of it. Kicks inboard, and he has found Luke Manuel. And if you wanted anyone to kick for your life, it'd be Luke Manuel. So you can put this one down, boys, and that'll put the scoreboard out to 3-3 Rostrevor to 1 point PAC.
Clever by Jordan too, wasn't it, Sean? That boot along the ground, went about 30-40 metres inside 50.
I wonder whether they're worried about the Rostrevor forwards being too mobile for Dowd at the other end. But Luke Manuel never misses.
I'll put that there.
Yeah, I put that down.
My Godfather, what's going on there?
Just change that.
I'll tell you what, I wish we had a thing for stats on how many times we've said that through the year.
Is that the
But geez,
Jacko
that swung
Jinx
away, didn't
finals version?
It did.
Anyway, in it comes.
Jolly that brought the ball in. He's kicked it to the far side. Very difficult to read who that player is. He brings it back inboard. Dangerous kick. It's missed the mark. It's all Rostrevor there. This is going to be difficult for PAC to stay alive. Good gang tackle, though. Means that the ball is going to be a ball up. And, Rostrevor could have really made him pay for a really dangerous kick inside. Yes, Tone?
I just seen Brinsley come out of that holding his head really badly there. His left side. He's okay now down deep.
Inside 50, surprisingly enough, boys are 7 to 10 at this stage in favour of Rostrevor. And we've got, for PAC, we've got 1 point out of 7. And for Rostrevor, we've got, 7 scoring shots from 12 entries. It's pretty obvious what's going on at this game.
Forward efficiency is chalk and cheese at this point in time. I think that was Bacanelli who had the snap and the miss.
Yep.
Which takes this to a 15-point ball game. 22 and a half gone, so Rocks have a decent chance here of holding Prince's goalless.
Holm, 8 touches already, boys.
Yeah. And you'd look at the possession count and you'd say that, at least for effective ones, it'd be Rostrevor with the lead that is tapped out of bounds. 23 minutes gone.
Clearance is the other thing, Phil. Rostrevor 12 to PAC 6. They've doubled them in the clearances at this stage.
Yes, indeed. So the boundary umpire about to throw us in. So just on that, Goodwood St. Peter's, it is the second semi. That will have a late start and you would assume a late finish. But we're going to stay on here until we get a score. At least I will. And Alejandro will stay with me. You guys can go home.
Yep.
Meanwhile, back here
at
at Uni, back at the ranch, it's a free kick to Pitt.
He's just come on too.
Defensive 50.
Fresh.
No, it's not Pitt. It's Lockie McNamara. Goes back. Brinsley. I've heard of reversible jumpers before, never reversible numbers.
Yeah.
24 to 42. Well, they're clearing it. They've switched it around the other side, as we said. So, okay, this bit's good. What can they do with it? Jack Stevens. He shows a bit of class to find an open man in a bit of space. Now, they're going to try and use the corridor. Ollie Collison. Oh, really, that's going a fair way back now to Riley Robinson.
Bit of trivia for you, Phil. Jack Stevens, the
You've got time for it.
only player out on the ground with his socks pulled up.
Yeah, I saw that earlier.
I reckon he's the only player out on the ground with a Jack Odie medal too.
Yep.
But he obviously not wearing it at this point in time. Meanwhile, Princes have advanced the ball a little bit. Craig Pitt has it. And if Rostrevor's defence hasn't made the transition, or Rostrevor's midfield and forwards haven't made the transition, the defensive end of the field, he kicks into a very, very packed forward line, bombs away, and after all of that, Anthony McCarthy takes a mark and will relieve the pressure for Rostrevor.
So McCarthy it is, just comes down this grandstand side, makes it easy for us. Guess what? Kicks it to Prince Alfred. Geez, that was the golden ticket just dropped there. Big Ruttman can't quite get his hands to it. They tend to have one or two just outside the pack as these players are fighting for it. Princes, they seem to just be able to find a free. I'm just going to keep an eye on that. That 10 or 15 metres off the pack.
You see Craig Holm attack the footy there?
Yeah, so up it goes. A lot of space behind the umpire here. Unable to get to it was Jolly. Don't know how his petrol tickets are going to go later on in the game, but I'll tell you what, Baccanello's ran himself into trouble there. The freight trains come through. Anyway, they go backwards to go forwards, Princes. See, there's players outside of this that can get hold of the ball. That's a great tackle, taken high. Umpire, yeah, don't mind that. Let that go. Nice kick there forward by Dawson. She's getting a little bit willing. Free kick now, and that is Paul Fantasia. He's had a good start to the game. Baccanello's still free there on the boundary. Just goes long. Both teams are undoing themselves, just kicking long into the forward line. So Princes can't quite get to it. That will take us to quarter time. 1 point to 2 goals for, gentlemen.
So Tony, you're off with the wireless mic to give us a report from the huddle, and would love to know a little bit about what you think the Breeze is doing.
Yeah.
Any quick thoughts, Jacko, before we go to a break?
Oh, just what we've been saying for the banging on for the last 10 minutes, and the forward structure of PAC's clearly not working, and they're getting smashed around the ball. They're the two areas, if they're going to win this game, they're going to have to change both of those things. If you keep definition of insanity, continue to do the same thing, expect a different result, as I can't see, unless, I mean, in the end, the last forward entry to PAC, we have Pitt competing against Darwood in the mark. So the only reason you'd have Darwood down there is for the long kick in. And if you're going to kick the ball long into him, you don't want anyone else there competing against him. But what he had was some competition from Pitt. So that, and around the ball, they are second to the ball, aren't they? Yeah, there's a Rostrevor guy clearly going at the ball harder than the PAC player. And no better example of that than Craig Holm on the boundary line against Tommy Bartlett. He threw himself in with reckless abandon. Always seems to be more of them. That indicates harder work rate. So it is 2 goals, 5-1 behind, 16-point margin. The goal scorers, singles to Pat Dawson and Luke Manuel, none to Prince Alfred thus far. Well, 1 quarter in the books. Let's see what happens in the second. We'll take a break. This is a Sports Interactive and Filming Footy production. Hope you're enjoying Matchday Live.
Check out Catch, where everyday Aussies are getting great deals, like Justin's Timber Rake, Sylvester's Cologne, Celine's Dijon, and Camilla's Pasta Bowls. For millions of products, everyday Aussies, check out Catch.
Welcome back, folks. Well, it's getting hot in the kitchen in the OTR Division 1.
Just by coincidence, our yesterday's hero this week happens to be one of Port District's favourite sons, and I speak, of course, of Jamie Baldy Baldacera.
It's that time of the show for Tony's Tales, and he's brought some stuff.
I've got some what we call props.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's go boundary side to Tony Neal.
Thanks, guys. So I went to the Rostrevor huddle, and I can tell you what, it's very warm out here. I feel like a snake lying in the sun. So what they've told them is get an arm across early down in the forward line to set up early, and also Rostrevor felt that they slowed them down quite well. So we saw Princes going across the ground while they were playing with the wind. They were going across the ground a lot, so they actually slowed them down. And Rostrevor also very much focused on creating the spare.
Thank you very much, Tony Neal, boundary side. Thanks to Interchanger and thanks to Dartfish here, the stats with Lockie. Jacko, take us away.
Yep, well, first of all, just pick up on what Tony said there about Rostrevor trying to pick up a spare, and this is where coaches earn their money. So from a PAC perspective, you've got to say, well, if the spare's working better for them, then they have to counteract that. They just can't continue to run a spare down their end of the ground if it's not working, and clearly it wasn't working. Let's have a look at some of these the main stats. Inside 50s, PAC 18, Rostrevor 11. Sorry, I'm not sure that's right. 18 PAC inside. Hey?
I reckon it's Rocks 18, PAC 11, but we'll...
Yep, okay, so centre clearances 7 to 14, so we spoke about that about 5 minutes ago. The PAC, Rostrevor all over at the clearances at the moment, doubling what they've got. And Holm, 8 touches for the quarter versus Jolly 3. So if we're going to have any influence on the game, Hayden Jolly needs to get going now.
All right, let's see if Princes can lift in the second quarter. They've got a bit of work to do, and we think they're going into the breeze. Clayford will get the tap. He tries to take on Bacanella. He'll be held up. And it will be another ball up. Tony Neal has joined us. Tony, your thoughts on the breeze down there?
Yeah, not much actually.
No.
Just coming, as I said, coming from that opposite side of the ground to this end, but no, not real strong. But interesting, Princes just didn't capitalise on it. It's this game about going around. When you've got the breeze, utilise it. So bang, cross the boundary it comes.
Jack Stevens, he certainly made Patrick Dawson earn his money there. Although there is no money this year with the COVID crisis.
Looks good with the socks up, doesn't he?
Yep, he stands out with the stocks up. Who's calling it?
I'll go. So, in it comes. No one at the back again. So, nice little tap down, but geez, he ran into trouble, and that was Lockie McNamara. Out it comes. So, umpires called play on. Just a hack kick forward. This is going to bounce and make a bit of trouble here. And it does. Fantasia, a little left foot kick. Will it get inside 50? There's a stat. Reinbrecht runs onto it. Can't get through. I tell you what, he's just about bent in half there and caught with the ball. That's his game too. He's very strong and hard at it. Whoever that is, they're going to know they've tackled him. He is just an absolute ball of muscle, that lad. And unfortunately,
I think it's Brinsley, the captain, boys.
While he's waiting to get up, we've got some quarter-time scores around Adelaide Footy League. First semi-final, Div 2, Henley by 13 points. Second semi-final, Tea Tree Gully 51, Sacred Heart 1. Wow. 50-point lead at quarter-time.
Well, let's imagine there must be a big breeze. Brinsley's got up okay anyway. He's now decided to go long down the line, searching for Nick Clayfield. No one able to get their hands on the ball, but once again, when the ball hits the deck, who gets it? A Rostrevor player. He kicks to a 2-on-1, and we keep banging on about, but Tommy Bartlett sitting back there in the back play. It's certainly not working for PAC at the moment. Ball thrown up, Butterworth versus Clayfield. Butterworth it is that gets it to Will O'Malley, flicks it out the back. Now ball spills to the front, but the umpire said, no, that's holding the ball, and I'll pay a free kick there to Ollie Collison. This is where they need to start generating some run from, out of the back half. What Rostrevor have done well in holding PAC up there. Their forward line pressure is much better than PAC's. Anyway, we've gone back to go forward. Tommy Sumner now kicks across towards Brinsley. He's got Adam Perryman free if he can get it to him. He does. Perryman, one of the best users of the footy in the competition. Left footer, looking for options. Nothing there. Goes down the line, searching for Lockie Charlton, but Tulio Demetrius reads it best of all. Unfortunately, not able to control the kick. And Rostrevor players trying to convince the boundary umpire that that's gone out in the fall. But
is it just my position here, or is there not much of a pocket in that part of the field?
Short pocket there. They say that about Tony Neal, that he's got short pockets. Actually, no, he's got deep pockets with short arms. Sorry, I'll get that right.
to the footy. Tommy Bartlett has it for Princes, and again, look at the slowness and the indecision at the moment. I mean, it's easy for us to talk about it up here, I guess. A little push on Lockie McNamara, who ends up into the seated section. Thankfully, he picked up the right football and gets a 25-metre penalty for the late Scrag. He's got three players behind him.
We'd like to see PA score a goal and just sort of open things up and keep the game.
That's a long 25. I reckon he's copped a 50 for that.
Right.
So, but again, no urgency. And not much movement of the forward. Butterworth, a big thump. Almost sent it back from where it came, and now it's Rocks. They've got some open space to move, and with some clear possession. Dylan Reinbeck with the catch, the hand pass, 1-2, working Demetrius and Holm. They're doing it beautifully. This is Fantasia and Holm across to Paddy Dawson. Already has one goal to his name. Too far out to score. Heads to the hotspot. Who's there? A lot of maroon, not much black and red on this occasion. That'll be Campbell Wildman with the clearance. And now let's see if Princes can up the ante, Tony.
Yeah, Jake Pitt it is. Just one step, casually into the middle. They opened up the middle of the ground there. A nice kick long there by Craig Pitt. Oh, up high. No one actually touches it. Delwood, I don't reckon's had a touch in this game, and I'd be looking to move him down back line because that's his go. It's not working up forward. Just scrambly here. They're trying to manufacture it. If anything, he was going to be on the end of that handball, and not reckon that's a good spot for him to be. And he's at the boundary side of this pack, so he's going to take the tap now. Up it goes. Ball just bobbles around. Rostrevor. They go to the boundary, turns around, just a bang kick on the boot floater, and a nice grab there taken by Tom Humphries we haven't called a lot of. So looking to go inside 50. Player sort of does a half lead, gets there, but Rostrevor all over that, and that's a courageous mark. I reckon that was Paul Fantasia, was it?
Tom
O'Malley, 15-16, yep. Just while we're waiting for this kick, gentlemen, I can tell you the rain's about 60 to 80 kilometres away thanks to the Elders weather app. We can see it coming, but it may not make it today. So, thank you very much.
Yes, and Holm looking to get on the end of that and continue his good work from the first quarter. Nothing doing. The umpire's going to throw the ball in, and once again, PAC nothing for their forward 50 entry. No score on the board. Ball thrown in. Spills to the front of the pack. Holm once again throwing his body in, comes out with the footy. Gee, PAC must be hoping they had a player like Holm in their side who can attack the footy. Bacanello kicks it nicely. Good contest there by Campbell Wildman on Tulio Demetrius, but Demetrius it is that ends up with the footy. Jack Stevens comes out beautifully, looking for a kick inside. Elects to go over the top of Bartlett to Jolly. Now they've got some space. Jolly, one of the best kicks you'll see. Can he finish this with a... There's no one presenting up at the ball. Pitt's got it, though. Lets it go. Oh, he's gone straight through Will O'Malley and copped him too high. And Will O'Malley, the captain coach, gets a free kick, switches the play out the far side. Daniel McCallum's got it. Another good user of the ball. Can't see anything to kick to, so he overlays the handball to Holland. He flicks it on to Fantasia. He looks to go long. And Nick Murphy does it beautifully against Tom Brinsley. Just was in a bad position, wheeled around and got to the front of the pack. Too far out, I think, to score. He's looking from about 55 metres. He'll need a hit-up lead. PAC got plenty of numbers back here. Jack Stevens going at the footy, not going to get there.
Holm goes up.
Trevor player, Holm was it, that comes through with some courage. Fantasia on the left boot. And that's not a great kick from him. That's gone out of bounds on the fall, Phil.
Mitch Wicks has just come off the ground too after that collision down the other end. I'm not sure whether he's winded. He's just hunched over and trying to catch his breath there. Took himself straight off the ground, pulled off as we might say, but took himself off. So continue on, gentlemen.
Phil.
Alrighty, Princes have it. And we've lost it. There's the footy.
Bartlett.
Just lost it for a quick moment there. It's going to be a quick rebound. This is Holm, who's probably been one of their leading possession getters.
He's looking to get a dartfish beanie. Craig Holm, there's no doubt about that.
Oh, well, look, it's the iconic dartfish beanie.
Yep.
And I think there's been 3 Rocks players that have got it now.
Blood rule, Phil.
A blood rule, that's why we got a stoppage. Well, whilst we got that, some other quick scores that have come around the league. In Div 5 prelim final, Colonelworth leading Colonel Lake Gardens by 18 points. And we've actually got a Div 7 score update. Don't get too many of those. Adelaide Lutheran 4-3-27 at quarter time. Flinders Uni 5 behind.
Come on, Crabs.
Holm. He's had plenty of time to think about this. Goes with the Bruce Lee rung up. The kick, though, almost landed in the lap of a Rocks player. That was Dawson, who had it and left it behind. Couple of quick hand passes. And this is, I don't know, gentlemen, I just reckon that Rocks should have turned up with a white jumper today.
That effort, we're going to go back and highlight that on the
We are, but right now it's a live ball. Lanzoni by the boundary has the snap across the face, out of bounds. And Tony, tell us all about that play.
Sorry there, Phil. I was watching Reinbrecht. I was sort of isolating one player. He applied 3 tackles in there and ended up at the end of that play with the ball. That is just tremendous play by that player.
Yep, well done.
Tackling machine is Dylan Reinbrecht. So throwing massive red, dark red, black, bit of white just to mix it up, and not much movement. And gee, I'm going to grab the football, put my head down and go. No free, another stoppage. 9 minutes gone. Prince Alfred have still
have a look, boys. You
can
see a Rostrevor player in front of every PAC player around the stoppage. It's no wonder they're smashing them in and around the ball.
Yeah, these were the premiership favourites. Of course, we didn't see their game live last week. They had more scoring shots than Goodwood, but were inaccurate. At the moment, accuracy is not the issue.
There's 3 players back from Rostrevor behind the ball too. So they've swamped the numbers at the contest here, PAC, and still they don't win it.
That was Reinbrecht with the snap and the miss. So Rostrevor go to 2 goals, 6. Inaccuracy may be an issue for Rocks. They could have almost had this put away by now.
Yeah.
But as it stands, it is a 17-point lead, 10 gone, second quarter.
I'll tell you where the other free was Tom Bartlett at the back of that ball up for Prince Alfred, but he's in no man's land. He's 10 metres out from goal, so Jolly takes off. Normally a good kick, as Sean alluded to. That is why we call it. Look at that. That is fantastic. Tim Fisher now, he's pointing, worrying about the man on the mark. Look down the field, mate. He's kicked it to a 50-50. There's the turnover. I like the way he goes about it. He's very calm when he does it. Now, Rostrevor is setting up very much like Prince's did last quarter. Number 3 here is Scott Gilbert. Now he decides to play on. He's still got players out here. They've got 2 or 3 out here because there's an interchange going on. Lanzoni working his way into the game. Handballs to the coach. He's after the game. Will on a left foot. That is a nice kick. They're going to get a shot on goal. Just tracking down the boundary, probably 3 to 5 metres inside that boundary line, and worked it well. Lanzoni, as I said, only a young player, first-year player, starting to work his way into a high-quality type of game, being a final, and did very well there. So our player lining up, Paul Fantasia.
His 100th game today.
Paul Fantasia, is it?
Mm-hmm.
So, geez, a little bit of a stuttered run-up, kicks it straight over the goal umpire's head. The crowd in front of us likes that. I'll tell you what, there is a big crowd here as well. I was going to say before, we've almost got an AFL score there. 3 goals, 6 it is now to 1 point, and we are 11 minutes 20 into the second quarter. I just like the way Rostrevor are structuring. They go very big on their structures. Last week they spoke about it.
Well, if we were to rewind the vision back there, you'd see that goal started from the spare in the back half from Rostrevor. So they've actually been able to link it all the way through to a goal. Conversely, PAC haven't been able to do that at all from their end of the ground.
And you can't keep going with the same game plan now. Interesting now.
5-1 clearances to Rostrevor 2 this quarter.
And Delwood's in the ruck.
And those stats thanks to Lockie and to Dartfish.
Okay, so Dowd up against McCormack, so a couple of different ruckmen. First time Pitt brings it out of the centre, so nice to see a clearance for PAC, but only as far as Jonas and Butterworth. Holland that gets it out to Jonas. He's tackled well, almost could have been holding the ball. The umpire says no. But that's one of the few times they've actually held them up just outside the forward 50. They need to get some blokes who can hunt the ball in their forward half of the ground, PAC, because they are getting killed down that end of the ground. Ball spills to the back of the contest. Once again, it's a Rostrevor player first to the ball. PAC now bring the ball with a nice handball inside. That one, however, has missed the mark. And this is going to be a head-high tackle. So once again, second to the ball. It's starting to sound like repetitive. Manuel kicks it beautifully out the far side, looking for Murphy short. Played a great game last week. He's got a free in Scott Gilbert. He's got Nick Murphy, and once again, boys, another clear three-quarter play.
Out of the way, kids.
Started by the spare, Murphy short in the back half, resulting in another shot on goal. Almost identical play down the same wings from the same
I think they've worked
place.
out that there's a short way home via the pocket that doesn't exist.
Do you think maybe they need to go one-on-one in the front half of the ground, PAC? Nick Murphy, we're right behind this one. He waves the ball a little bit. Experienced player, not able to make the distance. Dowd not able to get his hands on that one either. Now they're able to relieve the ball, and it ends up with Tom Sumner for a PAC locked inside the back pocket. He'll try and get a switch here. He's looking. Nothing on. He's probably searching for Dowd now. No, ball ends up with Tom Humphreys. They're able to bring the ball in a little bit, make the ground a bit bigger. It's a nice kick to
Donoghue.
Yes, Ben O'Donoghue.
A couple of names we haven't called much there, Sean.
Yeah, haven't seen a lot of Ben O'Donoghue yet. Look at that kick. No good. Matthew Lee's intercepted that beautifully. Haven't seen a lot of him yet. He goes long. Back in the direction it just came from. Watch out for Fantasia here. Good punch from Brinsley. Knocks the ball out of bounds, but wow, there's some problems for PAC. This is a 24 to 1 point game, but it feels like it's a 6 or 7 goal game, doesn't it?
But it does mean that if somehow Princess can put 2 goals back to back, that'd be right back in the contest.
Yep.
Just a 1 goal kick to the boathouse end, which is suddenly getting a little bit of football time at the moment. And just aerial ping pong at its finest, and I really do wish someone to change the jumpers. There's a snap. I think that was Dawson. Again, who can pick it up 10, 15 metres out. Fantasia in with a hard tackle there on Craig Pitt.
Yeah, just point something else out, boys. Have that. That's a repeat stoppage inside the forward 50 of Rostrevor. We have not seen that in a quarter and a half at the other end in PAC's
Correct.
forward 50.
It's gone in. It's come out pretty quick.
Correct.
And have a look at Will O'Malley. He's normally across the half back.
The 16s are at it. Dorwood with the tap. Let's see what Holm can do. His quick hand pass missed the target. Manuel went back in to get it though. Holm had a third try but missed it. Now Princes have it. The clearing kick into some space. Lots of red and black. They combine beautifully to Holm to create a little bit of space. Here's a high kick. Searching for that rain we think is on its way. And eventually the crowd is giving them some encouragement. I think they need it.
That's actually
I don't think it's appreciating the skill level at the moment, Tony.
No, so umpire throws that in now. 2 ruckmen just tangle themselves up. They can't jump at it. Reinbrecht just misses. This is the trouble with it. They get it here. It's just a high bomb kick. Rostrevor have got the free, and that's Holland. He's been very good today. Goes back, has a look around.
Is he a
really
beanie
liked
chance,
his
Tony?
game. Well, his courage has been fantastic. I really like the way he's gone about it.
Oh,
so here he goes now.
Yeah,
just
pathetic,
kicks down the
Tony.
line. Centre half forward, 3 on to 1, and it drifts over the back to Riley Robinson. Now, he's got to switch across the other side if he wants it. He's got 2 switches now if he wants it. Doesn't look, ignores it. Kicks back to a 50-50. Have a guess what? Delwood misses it. Over the back, almost in slow motion. I just get the feeling Princes look like they're about a half a metre to 1 metre off the game today. When you see Rostrevor attack the ball, they're just not quite at the same level. So, umpire going to throw it in. Butterworth hasn't had a lot to do today. He's a good tap ruckman, but last week we saw a lot of kicks. Blood rule here, so Ben O'Donoghue now. That's the 3rd player come off injured.
Just while you
Prince
have
Alfred in the first half.
that blood rule, we do now have a quarter-time score from Goodwood. They are running late. St. Peter's 1-4-10. Goody Saints 3-4-22. The Saints by 2 goals at the quarter-time break.
So
the
umpire
Goodwood
now.
Saints.
Umpire now throws it in. Ruckman, geez, they've tangled up a lot today like that. Delwood probably better being on the ball. Quick kick out by Tim Fisher just down the line. Player leads to the ball. Pitt it was. Couldn't quite get it up. Reinbrecht's in everything. Goes in, picks it up. He's hard to stop. Puts a player in trouble there. Bundled out. Hope that player's not holding his arm either for... it looks like now he is coming off. So Ollie Collison looks like he's come off now. He's just done a shoulder there. Maybe a stinger. That's 4 players in the quarter just about. He's just holding that arm. So anyway, back to the play. We'll keep an eye on things. Rostrevor out, running strongly, just deliberately puts it towards the boundary line. And so Collison really looks in strife with his shoulder, like it's popped out and back in. So they've got 4 players, 2 are blood rules, so they'll get back on, and 2 that won't.
You hope. Hope the clotting and the taping will have some effect.
So Will O'Malley just having a little bit of fun here with Lockie McNamara, a bit of push and shove. Manuel goes to the back now. Umpire throws it in. Players congest pretty much to the right of this pack. Player misses the handball. Lanzoni, just that clever kick. Another clever kick off the ground. Oh, could have been almost given a free there, Fantasia, Sean.
Yeah, unlucky Tom Sumner, or lucky that he didn't give away a free kick for in the back, but the umpire said no, you're going to have to earn him a bit better than that. But I think I'm with you, Tony, I think he's a bit stiff. But we look like we got one-on-ones and 4 to the ball for a change, so maybe if PAC can get a clearance.
Jeez, they've locked up their back, look at them.
Once again, it's Rostrevor away from the clearance. Ryan Breck snaps around the body, not able to get it out cleanly, almost gets a free kick and does, and it's all because PAC are second to the ball, boys. They are behind their player consistently.
That ball up, they had 3 players in an arc, probably 20 metres to the right, to the Rostrevor's goal side of that ball up. Wow. And that was one of them, was Jolly, who put his body in there. And
Dylan Ryan Breck, that is, who's got it. He's straight in front of goal at about 40. You kick from about 46 metres out.
6 goals from his 10 games
Big
this year.
Dowd in the ruck. Kicks it just inside 50 as it turns out. It's got some carry on it, and that has gone straight through the middle. A fantastic kick. Pushes Rostrevor out to 4 goals 6. 30 points to Prince Alfred 1 point. This is almost getting to the embarrassing stage for Prince Alfred supporters here today. They'll be asking for a little bit more effort from their players, and it's been around the ball, boys. We look at the restart figures again for the quarter. Clearances 10 to Rostrevor to 5 Prince Alfred. I mean, 2 to 1 is an embarrassing statistic. Inside 50s, nothing much in it there. 8 to Rostrevor, 6 to Prince Alfred. So clearly 2 things. We keep banging on the same points, but it's Rostrevor far too good around the stoppage and far too good from their defensive 50.
And well, Sean, go on, Phil.
No, Tony, go for it.
I was just going to say, if they don't pull their finger out, Rostrevor are going to have another easy win.
Yep, and that's another easy clearance to Rostrevor, this time from Manuel. Only as far as Jolly, who looks like he's gone to the half-back flank. Mightn't be a bad idea to change things up a little bit from Prince Alfred. Maybe Perryman goes into the middle. He's a bloke who can play on the ball. Good finisher. That's a nice kick inside to Jack Stevens. He's looking to play on. He does now. Goes long, looking in the direction of Dowd. Ball's not going to carry that far, though. This is where they need to hunt the ball. They do this time, Prince Alfred. This looks threatening. Can they keep it alive here? This is where they fall apart, and once again, no. Dowd has got it. Swings around the body. Is a chance here for no one at the front of the stoppage. Free. And the umpire has given a free kick. And that was a 2-on-1. 2 Rostrevor players versus 1. And it's Tommy Bartlett, I think, that's gone forward. And hallelujah. He's played most of the last 2 seasons up forward. And I don't know why they started him back today. But it's a move that clearly hasn't worked. But he has gone forward. Got a free kick. Going to go around the corner. Been watching too much TV, Tommy. No, he hasn't. He says that's a goal. And that's Prince Alfred's first for the day. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Prince Alfred out to 1 goal 1. Chasing Rostrevor 4 goals 6. Well, boys, we've been screaming at it for a quarter and a half. Tommy Bartlett's gone forward. Jolly to the back line. Both players involved in that chain of possession. Dowd into the ruck. They've made some changes, Prince Alfred, which is terrific. They didn't wait till half time. Let's see if that has any impact on the game. But it's not just that, is it? It's got to be the way they attack the footy, and their clearances is where they're getting smashed. They need a bit more grunt on the inside of the ball.
Jolly started it. Bartlett finished it. And at the 21-minute and 32-second mark, Princes have their first major of the first semi-final. Reduces the margin down to 23. Half-time, you'd think about 4 or 5 minutes away. Business Plaza half-time show. Plenty of stats, discussion, scores around the Adelaide Footy League. Princes are going forward again. They linked up not too badly last time. Picking it up was McNamara. He was tackled pretty well straight away, but Rock's under pressure with the clearance. High bouncing ball. Anzoni was good enough to get it and to get the runner with the hand pass. They kick it into some space in front of the Rocks bench, and Murphy leading the chase to the ball, which the boundary line wins. So some nice quick transition from Rocks. They've done it well, from one forward 50 to the other. as we jettison the football. And again, another good grouping of supporters. I think they've decided, let's ditch the Crows. Let's come and watch some of this round of footy this afternoon. Butterworth, the tap down. One of the Princess players may be taken high. One saying I was touched without the ball. A little bit of push and shove. In the end, another throw in. 55 out from Rocks. 23 and a half gone. The winner goes on to play the loser of Goody Saints and St. Peter's. The loser will be watching our live stream next week if they're not on their end-of-season trip. The kick, McCullum into some space in the pocket. Sets a task for Jack Stevens. He and Jolly, some Sandful experience there, are up for it, and the kick comes out. Ollie Collison has it. Let's see what he can do for it for Princess. Tony.
Right down in the back pocket. Now they try the switch. They get it back to Jolly. They rely on him a lot. Just points to the umpire as if to say, this is where the mark is, and holding up. He's got one outside. I reckon he's come out of the change rooms, this lad. So he's just going backwards. Of course, neutral ground today. Prince Alfred's home game, but a neutral ground, so they don't really know this ground that well. Didn't have to travel far to get here. So right on that far side, you can see the cricket pitches in the background getting prepared. Change rooms over there. Player coming down the line just stops, props, moves in front. I like the look of this player, Jack Stephen. He goes all right. So across to Collison, who's back on. Down the ground, big collision there. Delwood goes down. Can he get back up and home? It is around the corner. Dawson just hopped off his horse at Morphettville, came back out here, got plenty of space, but geez, he drives it in high, made it hard for the forwards. Bobbling around. Oh, Murphy this way, that way. Oh, through comes home again. Back it comes to Princess. Linking handballs now. A nice little kick there by Brinsley. Well, it wasn't that nice because taken by McCallum. Brings it in. Solid man, McCallum. Up and down Lanzoni. Oh, just almost a throw, paddle.
A good dive.
Bit of volleyball there. Oh, looked around, no one around him. Thought, I'll come in and I'll just kick a goal there. I'll tell you what happened there. Anthony McCarthy had two looks to see if there was anyone to share that ball with. In the end, he said, well, I'll go through it on my own. As just interesting there, Craig Pitt has come in and bumped Will O'Malley. Will O'Malley's given Delwood a mouthful. Now he's getting rubbed on the head by Collison. For those that are
what he has done, Tony, he's gone around and tried to get in every PAC player's face, Will O'Malley. I don't know why you would bother when you're winning it so clearly. Why would you need to go and upset and antagonise the opposition?
Usually, as the coach, aren't you telling players not to get in the opponent's face?
He's worrying about his team.
I think one of the reasons why, if you have a look at where that guy that kicked the goal, McCarthy, came off a half-back flank.
Just to say that,
there as well.
That was McCarthy's first goal this season, his third in 30 games with Rocks.
So you can see why. So umpire comes in. Just good news. Donohue's back on. Collison's back on. So a few of those injured players. O'Malley's on. O'Donoghue in back play here.
And half-time siren?
No,
it's not. Someone's got me confused. Anyway,
TV in the background.
Inside, almost a PAC. Like this bloke's game, Lockie McNamara, he's actually having a red-hot go. He's probably one of the only PAC midfielders that's actually earned his money today.
I think you need to put that one on hold.
Ernie's Cooper's pale ale today. Doward laps the ball forward, but only as far as Tim Baccanello goes around the corner. Good contest here. Trouble is Lanzoni. Needs to learn to keep his feet a little bit, Stefan Lanzoni, but he certainly knows where to go to get the footy. Holmes been in everything. He won't give up. He doesn't. Goes Luke Manuel going up. This looks dangerous for Rostrevor. Nick Murphy does it well, but Brinsley good enough, and Jack Stevens keeps it alive. Back to Brinsley. Handball's out the far side. This time they're looking to go via... back to Brinsley. and he goes short, and Lockie McNamara, is it, that has the footy there, or is it Tom Sumner?
Very quickly there. I'll tell you what they have done. They've loaded up. Look at number 6 there, Jack Stephen, and also Jolly. They've loaded up in the back line there, Sean. They're quality players.
Well, Stevens has been there all day. Anyway, Tim Fisher got the footy long down the line, searching for one PAC player to get on top and win his position, and I don't think there would be one PAC forward that has won his position to this stage of the game, and that's a damning statistic. Yes, I know we've mentioned Jolly's gone back, and I don't like the matchup
just
at all on Dawson. That is something you'd have to say, well, come on, boys, you can't run with that matchup, surely. What are they doing from the Pine?
Does Jolly ever have an opponent?
Well, He's obviously there to just try and read the play, but Dawson's one of the most creative forwards Rostrevor have got. Why you would defies logic to see Hayden Jolly matched up on Dawson.
So it is half time. It is Rocks. They're actually 5-6, 36. Prince Alfred's are 1-1-7. So we've given a goal to Princes that are actually Rostrevor's. So we might just need to adjust that score. But thank you, Leandro. So it is a 29-point margin in favour of Rocks at the moment. The goal scorers, all individuals thus far: Dawson, Reinbreck, Fantasia, McCarthy and Manuel for Rocks, and Tom Fisher. It is Tom, not Tim, that's my bad. Tom Fisher, the single goal scorer for PAC thus far. In the first quarter, it was Rocks by 15, and right now it is Rocks by 29. So they've had two solid quarters and take a nice buffer into the halftime break. Any thoughts, gentlemen, before we take our break and get ready for the Business Plaza halftime show?
Well, I guess the one thing we did see was at least a few positional moves made by PAC there halfway through the quarter. They continued to go down the track they were going. It was only going to be a 10-goal blowout by half-time, wasn't it? And if it wasn't for the fact that Rostrevor have butchered a few chances in front of goal, they would have been down by 7 or 8 goals at half-time. It's been an absolute domination around the ball by Rostrevor. They've absolutely smashed them around the clearances. And somehow PAC need to try and resurrect that. I'm not sure how they're going to do that, who they need to bring in there, or is it just an instruction to the whole midfield group? They need to start getting inside your player. I think that's where you'd start it with, that instruction. You need to be between your player and the ball because they're getting pushed out the way far too easily.
Tony?
I also think Rostrevor, they're just harder at the ball. See them jogging off there at half-time. It's like they floated off the ground, across the top of the ground, and Prince Alfred's like they were running in 2 foot of mud when they're coming off. They're both trying to jog off, but they look up and about, Rostrevor. They've got belief. As we said there, the coach is running around being very chirpy. You've got to be a little bit careful with that. You've got to be able to back it up with the goods, and there's a difference between being cocky and confident. But at the moment, they're flying. I'm not sure Princes can match it. They're not a physical team in regards to they're not going to bump them around or anything because you've got Reinbreck and everything at Rostrevor, so they're not going to beat them physically. I'm not sure what they can do, whether they can construct the win because around the outside's not working. And both teams, I thought, especially in that first quarter, very scrappy. A lot of the handballs and kicks weren't hitting targets. So Princes need to pretty much dissect and cut through Rostrevor if they can, but it's not working.
Well, I just can't see anyone up forward for PAC that can turn this game on its head because, I guess it's Pitt that they're looking for. They're going to be hoping Jake Pitt comes into the game, but he's had very little influence so far.
Delwood wasn't the answer either.
No.
So.
Yeah. All right, well, Princes need to find something. We need to take a break. This, of course, is a sporting, interactive and filming footy production. Thanks to catch.com.au, screaming good deals. The Business Plaza halftime show will be up after the break. One of our great supporters here in the Adelaide Footy League this year is Business Plaza. They do great work helping clubs raise much needed funds. One of those is the Goody Saints. Let's hear from Craig Scott.
The Goody Saints are going to partner with Business Plaza because of their track record, and also they're a major sponsor of the Adelaide Footy League, and they've brought in big companies like Vodafone and Catch Group. We feel we can better engage with our members and our players through the app, and I encourage you to get on board and become a member of Business Plaza.
Welcome back, folks. Well, it's getting hot in the kitchen in the OTR Division 1.
Just by coincidence, our yesterday's hero this week happens to be one of Port District's favourite sons, and I speak, of course, of Jamie Baldy Baldacera.
It's that time of the show for Tony's Tales, and he's brought some stuff.
I've got some what we call props.
Check out Catch, where everyday Aussies are getting great deals, like Justin's Timber Rake, Sylvester's Cologne, Celine's Dijon, and Camilla's Pasta Bowls. For millions of products, everyday Aussies, check out Catch.
Need a quick and easy low-rate car loan? With no monthly fees and an amazing low rate, a variable car loan from Police Credit Union has never been better. Plus, apply by 10 a.m. and you could get your money the same business day. Visit Police Credit Union for a low-rate car loan.
At Carlton Football Club, we use Interchange Pro software to manage our rotations on game day with our men's team, women's team and VFL affiliate Northern Blues. The software is simple and user-friendly and gives us a great idea of how to manage our players' rotations during a match. Interchange Pro provides concise information about players' time on ground and time on the bench. We can also see how long players have been on the ground and configure accurate alerts for individual players to manage their rotations and game time. Using the software, we can keep track of how many minutes our players have played on the ground and spent on the bench for the whole entire season, creating a database. We find Interchange Pro a great solution to managing our players' rotations on game day, and it'll be a great tool at community level too.
Justin's Timber Rake, Celine's Dijon, Sylvester's Cologne, and Kate's Blanket. For everything they need, everyday Aussies check out Catch.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Between the Posts, thanks to catch.com.au. Screaming good deals. Well, it is finals time, and one team that we're looking forward to seeing again this week, haven't seen them for a while, and that is Prince Alfred Old Collegians. Their Vice Chairman, Football Director Jim Parkinson joins us. Jim, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Enjoy your show. Congratulations on it. It's fantastic.
Thank you so much. And Prince's this year, I mean, we asked this of every club that we talk to, very different year. How has your club gone in the COVID environment?
It's been challenging, as everyone said the same thing, but we've had a real desire to get as much footy as we can. Our boys, when they weren't playing, worked very hard at getting themselves right. The league has been amazing with it. That we've supported them with everything they wanted to do. We've been keen to get as much footy as we possibly could. It's been challenging, is the most difficult thing. Having said that, every home game we play at Park 9 is a challenge because we have to set up tents and do all that sort of stuff and pack them down. And so chucking a COVID safety plan on top of that is just another box you got to tick. So we've gotten through it. It's been great, and the season started with a great deal of excitement because we had some big recruits, including Jack Trengove and that sort of stuff. So there was real anticipation around the place.
Probably very relieved that we've actually got a season off.
Absolutely we are. Yeah, it's great, and it's good to be in the position we are now. Having said that, we'd love to have won on Saturday.
So, Jim, a little bit of fun with this one. Do you get out the training much and watch training? Because
with your gear on? Or
No, because what tends to happen at some clubs, they get behind the committee gets in behind the glass and have a lock. They're looking through the bottom of the echo glass. Now, because at Prince's you can't do that, so I would suggest you'd be out in the open watching training, which leads me into how is the squad looking and are they healthy leading into this big game, because it's almost elimination this week now.
Well, it is elimination. We would love to be standing behind a glass pane of glass and seeing that, but we don't. And yes, I do go to training most sessions. Injuries have been a challenge this year, a real challenge. Jack Trengove was the highlight, but Bryce Woolard, Cameron Giles, we've had numerous injuries. Having said that, they're all, nearly all, back on the track now. Cameron Giles, who was proving to be an answer for us up forward, he came back and kicked a couple and then kicked 4. He did a hamstring last week against Port District, so he missed Saturday, which was a shame. But it was only a very slight twinge, and we're hoping that he'll be back this week. So challenging as it has been, but it's been we're.
Welcome back, folks. Half-time here of our game of the day. One correction, I did say it was Tom Fisher who kicked the sole goal for Prince Alfred. It was actually the player one up on the order, Tom Bartlett, who has the sole goal. Here are some stats, thanks to Lockie and Dartfish. Here are Jacko and Tony to make sense of them.
Okay, well, what I want to direct your attention to is the clearances, because that is the stat that is the difference between the winning side and the losing side, and that is an unheard of. It's 28 to Rostrevor to 12 to Prince Alfred. So 28 out of 40, you do the maths, that's about 65%. On any given day, if you can get 55% of the clearances, you've done exceptionally well. So Prince Alfred have got a glaring weakness today in and around the ball, and if they can't remedy the clearances in this half, they have no hope of winning the game, Tony.
I think you're correct there, Sean, and once you're on fire, you get the ascendancy. Another team drops away, don't they? Diminishing results.
Yep, inside 50s, 23 to Sorry, I beg your pardon. 16 to Prince Alfred and 23 to Rostrevor. So they did certainly got the ball inside the 50 more that quarter, Rostrevor. But it's the clearances. The centre clearances aren't too bad. It's 4-3 in favour of Prince Alfred, strangely enough. But it's around the ground where they're just toweling them up, and it's as clear a thing. You know, if you sometimes you play a game of footy or you're involved in the game of footy and you're going, geez, where are we losing it? You know, where's their advantage? It's as clear as the nose on your face today, isn't it, what Prince Alfred need to do to change this game. And in fairness to them, they have changed a few things late in the quarters, positional-wise. So I'd like to see him put Adam Perryman on the ball. He's a player who can play on the ball. He knows how to hunt the footy. He's a good user of the ball. I'd like to see him go on the ball, maybe.
And that's probably the difference is Rostrevor is so much harder at the football.
They are, yeah.
As we
clearly,
said, physically. Yep. And they've been beaten around Prince Alfred a fair bit around the ball, and when the captain coach is running around chirping around it and all that sort of thing, I think Rostrevor have got a sniff. They feel it. We can sense it here, so I would say highly unlikely. Geez, dark clouds rolling in as well.
I was about to say we might get you to check the Elders weather app in a sec, because that is one dark cloud. I can't see rain coming out of it, but it's certainly going to... Well, it might be nice to have the lights on, although I doubt it.
I'll check
stats.
Now.
Craig Holmes had 17 touches till half-time and 6 clearances. Jonas only had 5 disposals, but he's marshalling the back line beautifully back there. Jake Pitt having not much influence on the game with 8 disposals, and Jolly 9, but it got him late in the quarter across the half-back line. They really needed him to get him on the ball. Yeah, the rain appears to be stuck in the Barossa, not progressing any further southwest, which is good, even though that dark cloud is there. Teams are out third quarter, not too far away. Might just get gentlemen to just give us some prelim scores. Jacko, you've got semi-final in the Breakthrough Mental Health Foundation Division 2. Have indeed, and not good reading for either Old Iggy's or Sacred Heart at half-time. First of all, Henley are playing Old Ignatians at Henley. They're up by 43 points at half-time, 9-3 to Old Iggy's 2-2, and they've been on a good run, Old Iggy's. Means there's a bit of a gap in that division from the top 3 to the next 2. And Tea Tree Gully, well, they were 8-3 to 1 point up at quarter time. Sacred Heart, a bit better in the second quarter, 4-5, but they still trail Tea Tree Gully, who are 13-7 by 54 points.
And Flinders Park, how are they travelling?
Yep, Flinders Park, they know you know they come home with a wet sail, good fitness. They're 1 goal off the pace at North Haven, 5 goals 8, trailing North Haven by 6 goals 8.
And Tony, some scores from other divisions?
Yeah, so Division 4, Pembroke Gold Scholars, wow, they've been flying this year. They're 3 points down at half-time, 7-5 to 7-8.
Straight sets out, Tony.
No, it's only 3 points.
From undefeated.
And Adelaide Lutheran, 11-4-70. Flinders Uni, 4 goals 9. 33, so 47 points.
The Crabs
behind at the moment. Now also the rain is about 15 to 20 minutes away according to the forecast. It looks like patchy rain in 13 minutes, moderate rain after 17 minutes, heavy rain in 3 hours, so we might be okay. We might get a little bit of rain here and there as players get prepared in the middle.
Yep, and just very quickly, a reminder that we've got the Under-18 Grand Finals tomorrow.
Oh, yes.
Make sure you tune into that. We'd like to thank Business Plaza for sponsoring the halftime show and the Ultimate Best Oval Bracket. Make sure you vote on that. It's Ingle Farm versus Salisbury in the Grand Final. You've got until 11 p.m. next Saturday. But we are set. It's overcast here now. We'll see if the temperature's gone down or not. But certainly Princes need to rise, and you're with Tony Neal.
So Butterworth and Delwood up in the middle. Butterworth gets a good jump at it. A nice tap on that 45. Princes first to the ball. Can this be their attack? Nice lead out. Couldn't quite take it. Holland over the tap. Really marked it off a mark, if that makes sense. Oh, taking the ground back. Anello puts his body over the ball. A little bit of a proppy limp there on the leg too. He's feeling that. He's looking inside. Player back on the 45 if he wants it, but the way they've been going, probably go into the middle of the ground. No, looking down the ground. So just a big pack forms. Oh, you wouldn't believe it. No, not quite. Couldn't quite take the mark there. Over the back it comes. The room is filling quite quickly behind us here.
Come off the ground back in Ello too.
The moths behind us think that the rain might be coming. So, yeah, he's come off, has he?
Yep.
Keep an eye on that, Sean, and away you go, sir.
Yeah, you keep an eye on that now. I think it's a bit of a knee issue there. Anyway, the ball's heading towards the Rostrevor forward line. Dawson is they need to find someone a bit quicker to match up on Dawson, let's be honest.
Well, I think they have, because Jolly he's all by himself trying to be the defensive quarterback.
Okay, well, it's a free kick to Tullio Demetrius and Rostrevor, and he's going to put the ball back into the forward line for the Rocks, who are 5-6 in front of PAC 1-1. He's searching for options up forward. Butterworth's gone down there. He's going to go long. He does. In the direction of no one. That's PAC are able to bring the ball out. Jolly it is this time.
They'll work it through some quick hands here. Ends up with Jake Pitt. He moves the ball on, I think, to Lockie Charlton. They've transitioning very quick. That's a long kick from 50 to 50, but through hands. And that kick from Murphy short, probably could have done a little bit better with that. Was that Jack Stevens?
Jack Stevens might have gone forward, yeah.
So Rocks will clear it. They're down the outer side at the moment. We're almost in the middle. Lanzoni with his skills are sublime. Beautiful pickup. Straight onto home. Quick 1-on-1 inside 50 for Murphy. Says he was held onto. Umpire didn't disagree. Chance for the cavalry and Sumner to come back. They're working it through some hands. Oh, nice look away over the head. Hand pass by Pritchard. And Jolly always has time. Always has space. Give the man a wrap. He turns it over to Reinbrecht. Reinbrecht inside 50. What can he do with it? Lanzoni's at the top of the square. Couldn't take the mark. Couldn't quite take the tackle. And he's slow getting up. Tony, it looks like a few early injuries for Rocks to start the third quarter.
Certainly does. And Princes now. So they go from that half-back position right out wide here. Now they come down the wing. Just a chip. Two players had to raffle it there. Jake Pitt's got it. Hasn't had a lot to do today. Well, hasn't been in it. Now he goes on the 45 inside, kicks to 2-on-1. Reinbrecht won't know how to stop, so he just goes at it.
Now they're out. Now they're out.
Jolly on the far side. Has to bend over. Left foot, right foot doesn't worry him. And Wildman has popped that down and given it up. So Rostrevor now with the free. Up it comes. The free man I'm talking about. They need to get the skills right here, though. That's a high kick. Puts it back. Both players put a foot out at that. So Holm, it is, got down to it. Prince Alfred. This is the spot now, Sean, where Princes really need to drive a little bit harder at that ball.
I didn't like that, Tony.
They've got it about 70 metres out from goal. Capitalise on this. There's nothing inside if they want to come inside here. They're going to have to go down the line if they get a possession. Taken first, the ball was Rostrevor. Now they come. Delwood can't get a foot on it. And Jack Stephen, it is taken to ground on that far side. I just want to see what happens on this one before I throw over to Sean, because just see whether Princes can actually get a kick inside the 50 or a centering kick.
Can they win a clearance, Tony?
So, as we've seen all day, Ruckman tangle, and I'll pass across to Sean. So that was a little bit deflating, wasn't it?
Yep, neutral there. At least they'd be happy with that. That's better than getting smacked, which is what they did in the first half. Rucks go at it. Ball looks like it's going to go over the back into the Tony Neal zone. Rostrevor too good. Another clearance. Number 20 for PAC, Riley Robinson charging off the half-back line. Now the ball's with Campbell Wildman. Goes along the line. Again, Rostrevor, too easy, able to clear the ball. But only as far as Chris Pritchard on centre wing. He's looking, they really need someone inside 50 to start taking this game by the scruff of the neck. Jack Stevens might be that player. He's got it now. Wheels around, kicks it in 50, looking for Clayfield. Nice jump over the back from Butterworth. No, it's cleared by Murphy short. As far as Paul Fantasia, he keeps the ball alive, gets it back again, looking to build his stats up. Goes back to Dawson. It's been intercepted by Chris Pritchard. He's tackled around the legs. The umpire says no, play on. Rostrevor again, first the ball through Reinbrecht. Jordan there, stacks on the mill. For a finals game, boys, I'm really surprised by the lack of hunt from PAC at the ball.
Just on that last 5 minutes, Sean and Phil, it's like a windscreen wiper.
Yeah, it was.
Back forward, and the rain's going to come. So, wow.
Yeah, there's rain at Jeps Cross, I can tell you.
Another clearance. This time manual it is for Rostrevor. He kicks it in long, only as far as Hayden Jolly with the ball now. He's been well tackled. And the umpire says holding the ball. I'm not sure he had a lot of prior opportunity, but that is a first-year player in Stefan Lanzoni tackling an experienced player in the form of Hayden Jolly, and it's a fantastic tackle. And he's got a free kick and a shot on goal. And this will be the first goal for the quarter if he's able to get it. Comes in now. Holds the ball beautifully over his right leg. Looks balanced. That is an absolute stinker.
You never learn, do you?
I don't know why I bother saying they look balanced. He looked good running in. That was about all.
As
Over to you, Phil.
soon as you said he looked balanced, I thought, uh-oh, he's in trouble. Can tell you while Jolly assesses his options, Div 5, 9 News Division 5, Kenilworth leading Colonel Light Gardens by 33 points at the half. The right to play Lockleys next week. It's come back to Jolly. His kick is a turnover, picked up by Home. Lanzoni's going to get a second chance. Goes to Dawson, who couldn't believe he got the hand pass. He can't escape the clutches of some, though, and in the end a stoppage about 20 metres out. It has not improved for Princes the first 7 minutes of this quarter.
Not the clearances
They
anyway.
they have not added to their score, and Rocks have threatened once and have another chance here from inside 50. I think that was back and got the hand pass out to Holm. We'll probably need to keep his feet on that occasion. And in the end, it's just scrappy. It's just stalemating.
Even when they're not first to the ball, they don't manage to get Rostrevor, they certainly back up with their tackling, don't they? The tackling's been very good.
And when it's inside their forward 50, they don't give it up easily. Yep. You often tell whether a team's on song or not by how well the forwards play defence.
Good luck, Clayfield v Jonas.
Yeah, surprise, surprise, Jonas got there first, but Cavalry arrived, made the tackle. Clayfield is just going to sit there and watch it all unfold in front of him rather than exert some big man pressure. He's going to be needed in a sec because that's a stoppage. Let's bring in our big man, Tony Neal.
So I think it's action and reaction, and Rostrevor are taking action and Princes are reacting to what's going on. They try and go forward now. There's an example. Jonas, gets back on. He gave them a chance, dropped it, and the umpire has said, so the big fella's just fired up a bit here, Nick Clayfield. If they're not careful, they'll get 25 against, and they do. Not getting the ball back quick enough. Now, I don't know much about his kicking, but it's only 25, so that'll put him about... Geez, the umpire's gone back a long 25, though. That'll put him 30 out.
They've been generous today.
So I would say a set shot. I'll tell you what, good reward for effort. He's really been one of the players himself, and Riley Robinson this quarter. So comes in, just hold the ball a bit funny. Drops it onto the boot, straight over the umpire's head, and Nick Clayfield has kicked his first goal. That takes him through to 2 goals, 1. 3 scoring shots for the day. We have seen with the stats a lot of inside 50s just been turned over. So, not bad. Comes in, Phil.
We have a half-time score from Goodwood. It started late because the reserves game went to extra time, and it is the Goodwood Saints by 25 points at the main break. 6-8-44, St. Peter's 2-7-19. The winner straight into the granny in a couple of weeks at Norwood.
So we've got 3 Rostrevor players waiting to come on. Will O'Malley's one of them. Up goes in the middle. Down it comes, so they must be changing by a time. Player goes in hard, missed the whole lot, was home. Delwood, taken high, put his head over the ball. Interesting with the rucks today, they tend to nullify each other. They tangle up here in the middle. The only one that's getting a good jump is James Butterworth, and not seeing anything around the ground. Unfortunately for Prince Alfred, Delwood, they're robbing Peter to play Paul. He can't play at both ends. Fantasia, nice mark, kicks out the 45. Lanzillo's been lively this quarter. Runs forward it is, and Lanzoni kicks the goal. Lanzillo, who's his brother. Stefan Lanzoni kicks his first. He's had 3 goes at it. I'll call him something else before the end of the game, and I apologise to the young man. Apologise.
You might maybe have a rest.
Mate, I can't even get the names out.
What is in that thermos, Tony?
Just have a bit of rest.
It's the banana cake. So Lanzoni kicks an absolutely sensational goal.
Yep.
And I will pass on to you.
Right. Tim Bacanello.
Thorne.
Tim Bacanello icing up his behind his left knee on the Rostrevor bench, which is not a...
boots off.
Not a good sign for him. Hopefully it's nothing too serious because he was in exceptional form last week and pretty much all year. Rucks go at it. Butterworth hits it over the top, only as far as PAC, however. This time they do get a clearance, but it goes laterally. They haven't gone an inch forward. Now they're going 2 inches back, hopefully to go forward. Pick does that now, kicks it, looking for Bartlett. Jumps in the air, not able to take the mark. That's better, although he fell over when he didn't need to, that player. Campbell Wildman, can he pick it up? Nick Clayfield, who kicked the last goal. It's almost a good tackle. Almost is not good enough, though. Ball's now in the centre of the ground. Luke Manuel's got it clear. Watch this kick. That's Nick Murphy it is. He won't miss from there. I'll bet your ball's not. Oh, he's hit the post.
Bet you what?
I'll bet your mother's something on that one.
Ryan Tromans was the Prince's player, slow to get up, but he is up.
He okay, is he, Phil?
Yep.
Righto. Brinsley's got the ball now. Had the dive to get that one. Luckily, he's able to take it cleanly. He goes short now towards Tim Fisher. He's looking inside, searching for Pitt. He misses the ball altogether. Now they keep it alive. Now Pitt's on the end of this one. This is the kick he has to hit. Bartlett's over the back. It's not Pitt. It's 22. McNamara tries to go over the top in the end. Oh, they're going to mess this one up too, PAC. Well done. Well done, Jordan. Then goes over and pushes the PAC opponent in the back and says, mate, that was pathetic. And it was. Call it as it is, Phil.
Special comments. John Jackson.
Over to you.
4-time premiership player, that's why. He's very blunt with his comments. So McCormick comes in with a kick. He's found a target on the outer side. This is Charles Jordan, part of the Jordan duo that we have here at Rocks. In front of the outer change rooms. Getting dark here. Those jumpers are going to merge into each other even more, I'm afraid. Plenty of players there. Lanzoni, geez, he's having an impact on the contest.
I think Murphy looks like he's gone on the ball now.
Yeah, they're mixing and matching, and Darwood's in the ruck up against Butterworth. Darwood, I'm going to give him the tap on that occasion. Only as far as though as James Jordan. Just try to kick it back to Butterworth. Why, I'm not really sure. That will create another stacks on the mill, but Princes might just get over it. No, Holm. He's really good at the ground ball, is Holm. And here's another guy who's not bad. He's shorter, though. He's going to be outnumbered here by Men and Maroon. Picked up by McCarthy. It's just a whole lot of nothing much at the moment.
Richie there, wasn't he?
He was. Is he a young bloke, is he?
I'm not sure.
McCarthy.
McCarthy, let me tell you. 29 games, 2 goals, debuted last year. Played all 10 these goals, was goalless until his goal in the second quarter. Tony.
So ball comes out, Princes. That wasn't quite an inside 50 because it's still 10 metres out. Players, we've seen that 3 times today. Missed handball and a couple of missed kicks. So congestion forms. Just for the people watching at home, the players down the ground to the left, there's probably 40 metres, and to the right, there's a little bit more spread out. So a little bit of congestion you're going to see this quarter. Will O'Malley puts the body in, gets it out. Lanzoni, I got the name right there. Beautiful kick forward. Brinsley it is, brought to ground. Call for holding the ball, but not quite given.
Probably been PAC's best player for mine, Tom Brinsley, to this stage of the game.
So, beautiful hostess coming through now and just giving us some food. So now it comes up around the outside by Rostrevor.
Thank you.
Out to Lanzoni on the wing. Geez, he's having a great quarter, and that's a great kick right into the square. Could even bounce through. Just rushed through by the other man that's not having too bad a game is Riley Robinson.
You like that name, Riley Robinson, looking to kick out, but he's not. He hands it over to Perryman. Why not? One of the best kicks going round. That's no exception. Kicks to the pocket. Transferred out the far side of the ground. PA still got it. It's going to be difficult to call the game in the last quarter unless we get some lights on. Stevens keeps it alive. We're inside the corridor for PAC, but have a look at that kick. Absolute shocker. But Jonas didn't mark what he probably normally would swallow. This could be holding the ball for PAC. It is. Need to make the best of this opportunity. They've got some players. Number 34 is presenting himself, Campbell Wildman. Needs to go again. There's a lack of leads here. Come on, we need a PAC player. 1, 2, 3 lead. Going out the far side. Perryman's got it. Got a loose player here on the half-forward flank. And it's number 7, Ryan Tromans. No. He's going to go inside, straight to the Rostrevor player in Murphy Short. And you'd be upset about that.
I know we count turnovers, but how many times have we seen that today?
That's a turnover for sure, Phil.
Will O'Malley, the coach, with the long clearing kick. Fantasia was front and square, had it, thought he was off, but lost it. Good retribution there by Princes. The kick downfield finds Tommy Bartlett, one of only 2 goal scorers, along with, I think it was Nick Clayford got the other one. And he's in front of the interchange gates, and A lot of times, Princes have been indecisive today. At some point, it's going to have to take the game on. On that occasion, the wait was worthwhile. Good lead, good grab, good mark. Ollie Clark, who, if I remember rightly, when we were here for the Adelaide Uni game, Ollie Clark was well and truly in the hunt for the beanie and impressed us, but hasn't been sighted much today.
Played on the wing that day, I reckon, Phil.
Yeah, and they talked him up, didn't they? Real live wire, can take a good mark like that.
So this to make it the best quarter for Princes. They've already got one goal in this quarter from 48. And he has missed to the right-hand side. So 2 goals, 3, that is 15. Rostrevor are 6 goals, 9, that's 45. It is a 5-goal game, 30 points the margin, 17 gone of the third quarter.
So Rostrevor now coming long. Gee, he's got a great leg on him too, Murphy, and kicks it. That's gone right into the centre. That'll do. As player now taken hard. Can't quite see a coast-to-coast happening. Jolly trying to get himself into the game. Geez, it's like he's got a force field around him. They can't get near him. Chips it on. He's ran on. Didn't give it to him. Gave it to the next player in line. And that is a long kick into the goal square. They're going to manufacture a goal here. And that was Tom Humphries who
Tom
kicked
Bartlett.
Tom Humphries who kicked the ball in, Sean. And Tom Bartlett it is. Now I will make the prediction. Cannot miss from here unless he falls over. Thinks he's got the skis on. Takes a long run up, drives it through the goal. I'm trying to make it exciting. And I tell you what, folks, that's a nice goal there to Bartlett that they manufactured. That's his second.
2 in a row.
And Phil's got a score, have you, Phil?
No, that's just 2 goals.
Sorry. And ladies and gentlemen, if you can hear a lot of noise in the background that sounds like hail, it's not actually hail. The beautiful people here have given us some packets of lollies, and there's about 8 of us all lined up here, statsmen, cameramen and commentators alike, chewing away on our jelly chops.
Some men's lollies too, the local South Aussie product.
Inside 50s better for this quarter for PAC. 10-8 and the clearances. Still trailing Rostrevor for the quarter 9-6.
4 goals in it, Sean.
Yeah. Well, you know, if you're watching the game, it feels like a 10-goal game, doesn't it? It feels like Rocks are in front by 10. Am I calling this, am I?
Yes.
Okay, so it's the young fella for Rostrevor, number 25, Tom McCormack, up against Will Doward, who gets it and kicks it forward. Could get 3 in a row here to PAC if they can get a spillage ball. Bartlett, he's a clever player. He keeps the ball alive. Got some numbers here. Oh, whipped around the corner by Ollie Clark. But much better effort when the ball went inside the 50. It didn't come straight out. So what we've seen this quarter, Tommy Bartlett making a bit of a difference in the forward line. They're locking the ball in a bit better. They're a bit better at the clearances than they were in the first half. Still not even 50-50 though, so they've got a bit of work to do in that area. But they come to play a bit more than they did in the first half. Clayfield, ball smashes forward in the direction of Jack Stevens. Like the idea of him going forward, but Murphy's short of this. He kicks it out, looking for Lanzoni. Good contest in the air by Pitt. Ball spills forward for Dawson. Now Jolly, who looks a lot better in the back half, I've got to say, boys. That's a nice kick towards Stevens. And nice bit of pace show by Stevens. Keeps it alive to Jake Pitt. He kicks over the far side to Ryan Tromans, who goes long, searching for Bartlett. I think that's hit the behind post, and that will be out on the floor, or touched, was it? So Rostrevor player Daniel McCallum arguing with the goal umpire, but the boundary umpire says no, that's a out of bounds, and I'll throw it in, Phil.
Yeah, good communication there. You saw field, boundary and goal umpire all working as one team, which they need to do as an umpiring crew. Socket forward by Short. They're going to clear it here nicely by Rocks with a long kick off defensive 50, but only as far as Tromans. Who's marked just defensive side centre wing. Get the feeling rain is very imminent here, just the darkness of the clouds. He's gone across the field. They're going to try the outer side now, picked up by Chris Pritchard, who was the initial inclusion. Ryan Tromans was a second late after selections were made. Finding Craig Pitt, goes back. That Stevens, can't miss those boots.
Stevens got onto the wing, boys, on Tulio Di Mattias.
Can't even playing on the wing too many times for the Double Blues, but hey, It's you get the feeling Princes are lifting here. If they can convert, we may just have a grandstand finish here at Uni. It sits with Ollie Collison on the goal line. Needed a soccer. No Maroon man there.
Why was Wildman not there?
3 goals, 4 now. Princes go to 6 goals, 9. That makes it a 23-point margin. The closest it's been for some time.
So kick in by Murphy Shaw. Always long kick. Over the top now, Princes first of the ball. Says he spun 360. Umpire finally gives it after the call from the crowd here. So Rostrevor need to manufacture another goal here. Craig Holm it is. Goes just long down the outside, which is one of their game plans and structures. Princes now back onto it. I'll tell you what I've seen with number 6, Jack Stephen. He's become the architect for them a few times there. He'll kick the ball square rather than just bomb into the forward line, which has been the downfall of both teams, kicking on top of a player's head. Round the outside, that was not too bad by Demetrius. Hasn't called him a lot. Will O'Malley running off the back line. Just that nice kick that we're used to. I reckon that's Fantasia, is it? Diving mark. He'll kick from inside 50, probably 35 to 40 out dead in front. If we happen to get a long shot where there's a circle of black cloud all around us, but up towards the hills is blue sky again. So it's either going to burst down with rain on us or it may just hold off and blow over. So anyway, it's not going to affect the game as we speak. So Fantasia, very deliberate, walks in, holds the ball quite high. Yeah, just an interesting way of holding the ball quite high and long way from hand to foot. Gives the ball time to swirl around as he drops it, and that is a point. And that would have been a nice goal for them to put in. So 3 goals 4 to 6 goals 10, 22, almost 23 minutes in. So Jolly with the kick in. So plays on, gets another stat for that, runs right out, kicks it out long to half-back flank, and a throw in here for Prince Alfred. Crowd is lulled. The air is just heavy as we speak.
It's just a bit tense, isn't it?
Feel it, and I'm just tipping if Prince Alfred can get another one here, they may well get a sniff. Up it goes. Players, once again, they lock on, but Rostrevor first of the ball, as we've seen a lot today. But locked up, so that's a little bit better by Princes that time. And Tom O'Malley, it was locked up. I'll go one more bounce here, Sean.
Oh, you're kidding.
You enjoy the chocolate lollies there. Up it goes.
Could have eaten 3
Ruckman,
packets.
Around it goes. Luke Manuel. An inside-out spiral. Couldn't quite take the mark, was Murphy, so it's right on 50. Home couldn't get it. That's a rugby front-on suplex tackle, Sean, is what we'd call that.
Craig Holm it is actually, and he's started this quarter just like he finished the last half. Very good fashion. Butterworth, Dowwood goes to that man Holm again, keeps his feet beautifully. Now Pitt gets it, gives a handball on the up to Jolly, who's had a good start to this quarter. Someone's had a chat to him at half-time. Pitt again inside nicely. Oh, I'm not sure what that player was trying to do. This is where the PAC forward there, number 26, just needs to, Tom Humphreys needs to read the game much better than that. Just get caught behind. So, comes inboard. Craig Pitt has it inside the corridor. Now Long, searching for Campbell Wildman. Has to hit this kick and does. That's what you can do. If you lower your eyes on Holland, you can see he was nowhere near his play. A good little bit of work by number 26, Tom Humphreys. How many goals he's scored for the year, Philip?
He has scored 4 goals in his 9 games.
4 from 9. Well, I'll tell you what, 5 from 10 would make things very interesting. We'd have a 3-goal game on our hands. 45-degree angle. About 40 metres from goal. Looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Looks good. It is good. And that puts PAC back firmly in the game. Who would have thought 10 minutes of footy? And it might be a case of Rostrevor had their chances to put the side away before half-time and didn't.
They're running too. Look at them running back to position. They're keen.
Yeah, you wonder because they've looked so flat in the first half. If they got a bit of a sniff and can get a sense that something can happen, they might just get on a roll. And I think that's 3 in a row, is it, Phil?
It is. They had upside. This quarter, Rocks have kicked 1 goal 4. Princes have kicked 3 goals 3. They have quadrupled their score.
6 out of the last 7 inside 50s to PAC.
Lights are on, gentlemen.
Right. Lights. Butterworth. out of the middle. Can they get a clearance from the centre square, PAC? Not in this time. Ball's locked up. I don't mind seeing that. I mean, if you get a lock-up, at least it means both sides are having a fair dinkum crack, and we didn't get that often enough in the first half. Repeat stoppage. Umpire Tony Simons holds the ball aloft.
You want to hope it doesn't rain at half-time, three-quarter time, Sean. I'll tell you who's been good under pressure very quickly. It's Phil. Every time you've asked him for a stat, mate, he's come up with it. It's finals time. We're up and about.
Yes, indeed. So Jacko is going to head out to the huddles for the first time this season. Can't wait for that report. Just quickly, we'll give you some goal scorers before we take a breath and get set for what could be a very exciting final quarter. So in that quarter, as mentioned, Prince Albert kicked 3 goals, 3. Rocks kicked 1 goal, 4. The goal scorers, all single goal scorers for Rostrevor: Lanzoni, Dawson, Reinbreck, Fantasia, McCarthy and Manuel. Tommy Bartlett has 2, Humphreys 1 and Clayfield 1. A final quick thought before we take a three-quarter time break.
Well, our Prince is coming. That's what it looks like, just that last half of that third quarter, and that's what can happen in finals. They just get a bit of a sniff. Be interesting to see. Sean's going to their huddle this time too, so be interesting to hear the messages that come in, and a little bit of self-belief can go a long way, Phil.
Yeah, there's Jacko there with the shorts and the shades.
Oh.
And the wireless mic. Stay tuned. We'll be back after the break. This is a Sports Interactive filming footy production thanks to catch.com.au. Screaming good deals.
Check out Catch, where everyday Aussies are getting great deals, like Justin's Timber Rake, Sylvester's Cologne, Celine's Dijon, and Camilla's Pasta Bowls. For millions of products, everyday Aussies, check out Catch.
Welcome back, folks. Well, it's getting hot in the kitchen in the OTR Division 1.
Just by coincidence, our yesterday's hero this week happens to be one of Port District's favourite sons, and I speak, of course, of Jamie Baldy Baldacera.
It's that time of the show for Tony's Tales, and he's brought some stuff.
I've got some what we call props.
Okay, boys, very up and about at the PAC huddle. They're only 3 goals down. They think if they can get the first one, they can win this game. Jolly going back into the middle, so I thought he was really good off the half-back line, but they put him back into the middle. Coach has said to him, you can win the game for us out of the centre square, so it'll be interesting to see how that pans out, but they are certainly up and about at the PAC huddle, boys.
Thank you very much to Sean Jacko Jackson. We have some stats coming up. And given Jacko's not here as a stats man, I guess I better have a look at it. We look at the clearances, narrowing a little bit, 41 to 22, so still Rocks plus 19. The hit-outs, very even. The inside 50s are very even. In that quarter, you can see that, Prince has started to get their share of inside 50s, reduced the turnovers a little bit, and started to tackle a little bit more. So they're coming, and I'm just waiting to see when this rain arrives.
The other thing there also is the turnovers. We said it was almost like a windscreen wiper there, 38 to 25. So a lot of turnovers as the players get into position now. Just waiting for a lot of spectators out here too, coming off the field. There's a large crowd here today, so players are set
I have 1 3/4 time score. Div 7, prelim final, Adelaide Uni 12-5-77, Flinders 7-10-52, Lutheran by 25. Tony, here's your final quarter.
So they all go up, and now all the players are on the Rostrevor side of the throw up there. Jolly in the middle. Oh, he just trips as he goes over. Pick it up now. Princes go forward. This is going to be interesting.
Perryman.
Inside 50. Delwood it is. Can't quite get to it. Probably going to get done on the ground. McCallum now looks this way, that way. Gets across to Holm. Takes it and tackled very vigorously there. McCallum backs up. Fantastic. Dematesi. Round he goes. Dawson it is. Puts it to Lanzoni. Big collision on the ground right in front of us there. Dawson trying to soccer it through, but great courage shown. And umpires looking, going to hold this. Yeah, Pay holding the ball there, but the only player that went in really hard at that one was number 42.
The other obvious change, boys. Jake Pitt's gone into the ruck for PAC.
Okay, so Dawson it is, kicks long down in. It's right inside that area and unable to capitalise here was... now keep an eye on Nick Murphy. He's the one who just kicked that out. He had a great last quarter last week, grabbed everything and really gave some impetus into the forward line.
He is a fourth quarter specialist. I remember that game against Princes. He was quiet all day, but bobbed up for a couple in the last.
Sumner's got it. He goes to the half-back flank. It's in the hands of Craig Pitt, now the coach, who's thrown his brother into the ruck. Jack Stevens not able to take that one cleanly. I think they like him on the wing and certainly gave him a bit of drive in the last quarter from that position, but unfortunately not able to take that one, and the ball turns over and ends up with Fantasia just outside 50. His kicking has let him down on occasions today, but nice move by Nick Murphy round the corner. But it looks like Tromans he wants to play on here. He doesn't. Should have. He's got Brinsley there to kick to. Oh, he's kicked towards Jolly, and that's a poor kick. A really poor kick. Set Jolly up, and James Jordan has marked it about 40 metres out from goal, and that could be the nail if he kicks this. Now, not the worst kick for goal, but not the best. So I'm certainly not going to call it from here, but...
well, you are going to call it.
Okay. Well, he's 45 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Walks in, ball in the middle of his two legs.
Really should be.
Well, that's lucky to register a score. So, well done, Jordan.
That kick was about the quality of your joke, Jacko. So at least it matched up this time. So it's going to be Princes who have the ball. 2:40 gone.
Perryman got it.
He's not quite at desperation stages, but Perryman goes long to the outer side. Mopping up beautifully is Murphy. A lot of little dobby kicks today that sort of roll along the ground and don't go too far. Lanzoni battling hard by the boundary. He ensures there will be no Prince Alfred clearance, and he had a great battle there. The rookie in his first year at senior level, Lanzoni, and a veteran who's done it at the highest level of Sandfield, Jack Stevens. The throw-in will lob on Rock's 50-metre arc. And it will spill towards the boundary, but somehow Princes have kept it in. The kick down that field. Backing himself well was McCarthy, working with Short. I think that was Holm. He's going to put it inside 50. Oh. The fly, the grab by Fantasia, just couldn't hold on to it for long enough. Murphy comes in like a steam train to tackle Pritchard. But they don't give too many of those inside the forward 50. Tony, it'll be a ball up.
So O'Malley was a kick that he's standing Jolly at the moment, so that could be 0-0 or which one capitalise. O'Malley runs forward, Jolly stays back, so this will be a little bit of interesting byplay on the outside of this pack. Hayden Jolly's number 27 on the back of the pack, so O'Malley, number 14 for Rostrevor, has gone to him now, and they're about 5 metres off this pack. Up it goes. Bit of 0-0. Ryan Brackett is around this way, that way. He's quick at that. And just pops it through for a point. So this will be interesting. The structures, the kick-ins, who can maintain their fitness to set up in the last quarter and be options. The other one that's interesting is Jake Pitt is right down the ground on the far side. So it comes this side and just holding the ball up now. Prince Alfred.
Brinsley.
Looking for options. Yes, Brinsley it is. So just having a look around. He's waving the hands around a bit. He's got a short and he uses him. Tom Sumner. So controlled, measured tempo football. We are 4.5 minutes in. Can they construct something? Players moving around. Another player short. Oh, he's run too close. The man on the mark. Puts it up. Gives Rostrevor a chance. not quite out of bounds, Rostrevor, and taking it over was Holland, who's had a really good solid game today. Just bobbles over. Umpire going to throw it in.
I think we've got one of the earlier games today. We do have some other scores. I'll give them to you over the next few stoppages.
So player goes down off the side of the pack there. O'Malley couldn't quite get it out to his players. He's going to have trouble chasing here, but gets a hand on. They are under pressure here. Lanzoni puts his body in. Well done there. And that's caused a turnover. That was great play. Rostrevor forward. Players being held. Umpire says, that is yours, Paul Fantasia. And I'll tell you what was great work in there was by young Lanzoni when they were 50-50 balls, just winning. I reckon he's come inside the 52 this quarter. I was looking at that before. So Fantasia it is. Should be an easy kick. He's on a slight angle. No wind to talk about. Lights are on here. Steps in. Holds the ball quite high. And he has popped that through. The crowd erupts. Paul Fantasia with his second. And they go out to a 36-point lead. Is that right?
No.
No, nowhere near it. 26 points, Tony.
Points.
Yes, that was one of my strengths at school. So very good. Phil.
Got some scores around the grounds in the Breakthrough Mental Health Division 2. Henley lead Old Ignatians by 65 points at lemon time.
Blowout.
Tea Tree Gully leads Sacred Heart Old Collegians by 55.
Blowout.
In the Div 3 Gardell Security, Flinders Park kicked 9 goals to 1 in the third quarter. They're doing a lot of scoring with the breeze down there. It's a 42-point margin.
They're home.
And in Div 4, Pembroke are in trouble. Going into the final quarter, they trail Walkerville by 19 points. Undefeated to out in straight sets in the space of 2 weeks.
All right. Not the first time it's happened, Phil. I can assure you of that. Go back and look at your stats for 1990.
Yeah, in all my spare time. Anyway, it's Rox who've got it.
McCallum.
Looking to seal the deal.
Stevens has got the ball now. At centre half back. Might have pushed back. Kicks wide to Brinsley. They really need to almost start going down the corridor to have any chance of winning this game. 4 goals down with 7 minutes played. They can't afford to just be going round and round and around the outside. Sumner's got it. Play held up again. This is not going to get them the game. Boys, you may as well lose by 8 goals by going through the corridor. This is just not going to win you the game. Anyway, Perryman's got it. Has a bounce. Now he's got nothing to kick to. So he kicks to nothing. In the form of red and black Guernsey. Holland. Demetrius. Where's he going to go? He's looking for Lanzoni!
He has gone forward.
And Stefan Lanzoni, which is where he plays, Tone. So I'm not sure.
He's been a bit on the wing there.
Right,
far
okay.
side, mate.
Yep.
An attacking wingman.
Right, attacking wingman.
Maybe.
Have you seen Holland? That was good again, wasn't it? Straight down there, came in, picked it up. No, it's good. Played well.
Have we got to keep doing this every week?
No bias.
Lanzoni, 47 metres out.
Ooh.
Waves the ball around. Will it hold its line? Oh, unlucky. Hits the top of the left-hand post. And that would have been the nail. It's not, however, because Lockie McNamara has it. Inside 50s, 6 to Rostrevor this quarter. Prince Alfred 0. So doesn't paint a very good picture of any chance of success for Prince Alfred. Can't get it outside their back 50, let alone inside their front 50. Pitt's got it. Kicks it to Stevens. Stevens, I like the fact that he always tries to play on when he gets the ball. He stays alert. O'Donoghue's got it now. Had a quiet game. Already lowered his collars to Holm and a couple of the other midfielders. Ooh. That kick is not great, but it's found Clayfield. He's taken a good mark. They're in the good spot. The ground is extremely crowded in front of him, though. Very hard for any Prince Alfred players to find space now. So he kicks long, searching for Doward. He gets to the front. Holm it is again who gets the footy. He has been dynamite off the pack today. His one take has been exceptional.
Don't forget, we've got a beanie and a voucher thanks to Moseley Bar and Kitchen to work out.
Stevens lays it off. Only as far as Riley Robinson. But Rostrevor get it. Back through Lanzoni. He's blasted away, unfortunately, and Brinsley is all by himself. The only player back inside 50, Phil.
Indeed, he played 150th game earlier in this season. I think it was when Princess played Adelaide Uni here. One of our games brought to you by Sports Interactive and Filming Footy. Some live streaming action, and that kick towards the outer side is going to be seen out of bounds. And Not sure that was a mum there clapping the players, encouraging them on. Everyone there bringing the chairs, which is great to see, and a really good crowd, and you're getting into this contest. Umpire throws it in. Just the attacking side for Rocks. They've done pretty much all, they have done all the scoring thus far in this final quarter. 10 minutes gone, but it's going to be Prince's a chance here. It comes through Perryman onto Wildman. Wildman kicks it inside 50. Can't find the target, but good pick up by Prince's. They're going to get it back here towards the top of the square over the head of Bartlett. And just when I was thinking, wasn't I getting excited that the Prince's player is loose?
Yeah, Bartlett's got the
It's
free.
because Bartlett's got the free. A critical kick if Prince's are to have any hope of being here next week.
Been pretty good since he's gone forward, hasn't he?
It's only four and a bit in it.
2 goals today, and that's a critical third that just keeps it a chance. 21 points the margin.
Do you reckon they wish they had just started with him forward?
Yeah, well,
It's always easy in hindsight, isn't it?
Hindsight is 2020. Of course, it was Rocks by 15 at quarter time, 29 at half time, 24 at three-quarter time, 21 now. They're getting into it, but not fast enough. Tony.
So you'll see with this setup, every player is on the right-hand side of the Rostrevor ball up here. So if they win it, now a couple of players step back in. O'Malley's probably quieting down a little bit now as it's game on. And now out it comes, Prince Alfred. Delwood just around. That'll do. Gets inside 50. It's going to bounce through everyone. They're in an attacking spot here. Craig Pitt, the coach, kicks it. And he has stopped it. And that has brought Prince Alfred right back into the equation. So very quick goal there. And as I said, they set that up in the middle. How they structured. Delwood a quick kick out. It actually bounced end on end, beat everyone. And Pitt waltzed through for a goal. Here it is here. Bounces, beats everyone. Yeah. Here comes Pitt. Bang. Right side for right footer. Puts it through. Not able to get his hand to it.
Jonas.
Was Jonas. He's quieting down this quarter as well. So I'll call this one again. Ball back in the middle. Because that was very quick. And I'll tell you what, they're 2 goals, 9
15
behind.
15 points. 2 goals,
15
3.
points. So up it goes. This time Rostrevor win the tap. Can't capitalise it. Well, could have been in danger. Not able to take it was Prince's. The big ruckman gets it out. Butterworth. Just a tackle there. No one's actually kicked it, and the ball's travelled about 30 metres into the half-forward line for Rostrevor as we speak. And they are under a touch of pressure now, Sean.
They are. The Rucks go at it. Butterworth gets it, slaps it, and guess who? Holm. Has he been on the end of every hit out or not, or what? Pitt now has it inside the back 50.
Oh, clever.
Jordan James variety, quick kick under pressure. That's maybe where he needs to kick the ball when he has to think about it. It doesn't go too well, but when he gets it quickly, good result, and that pushes the margin back out to 2 goals 9.
I want to see the replay of who tapped this out.
Luke Manuel, I think it was. Yep.
That was a great score assist that settles the deal for Rostrevor.
Yeah, I think 13 minutes played, 2 goals 9, 3 goals. Still plenty of time, but based on what we've seen today, they've kicked 6 goals. So long odds to get up from here, PAC.
Shootout maybe?
No, it would be nice to see a few
it.
goals scored. Rucks go at it. Butterworth hits it forward, only as far as lands. Zoney kicks it left foot around the corner to the true centre-half forward position, taken by Perryman. Tries to ward off the tackles. Players saying, come on up. He's tried to ward off 2 tackles there, but nothing doing. The umpire said, no way. I'll throw the ball up. You blokes just go at it. Look around, a little bit more urgency in the way PAC are playing at the moment. Jolly gets it off the ruck, kicks it. Nice contest there. It's half forward by both players, PAC and Rostrevor. Jolly, beautiful take below his knees, gives it to Stevens, to Perryman. Here's a left footer. He goes in the direction of number 13, Tim Fisher. Get on with it, son. We can't afford to wait, says the PAC crowd. He looks up, got nothing to kick to. They're a bit shorter up forward. Need a tall. Who they got? Going towards Nick Clayfield. He's not able to take it, and the ball spills out of bounds.
Just a quick one, gentlemen. Jack Trengove would be sitting watching this somewhere. How do you reckon he's going at the moment?
Yeah.
1 week away from playing.
Yes.
Wow.
Haven't seen him here today, though, but I'm sure he's here somewhere. Phil?
Alrighty, 15 minutes gone. Prince has got it to 15. Right now it's 21. Rocks, I think they're going to the scoring end of it. To be honest, it hasn't mattered a lot today. Prince's ball under pressure.
Getting a lot of it.
Perryman. Kick, count him. I could count 3 Rocks jumpers before I saw a man in maroon. Dorwood came in and made a contest of it. Doing well also was Collison. In the end, forces the stoppage, gets the free.
Jolly.
It was short, the unfortunate man. Jolly, 55 out, usually does something constructive. Goes with a dab towards the hot spot. They've got a loose man here if they can get it. There he is. This is Pitt. And needed a bounce and did not get it. I reckon that hit the grass and went backwards.
Went into the post, Phil.
1 point. And it will narrow the margin down to 20. As Nick Murphy has it on the back pocket. If someone can just tell me who the last goal scorer was so I can update my records, that would be very handy.
Last goal scorer
was Rocks.
For Rocks?
Yeah. Anyway, we'll go down the outer side because I was trying to work out who it was who tapped it back to the man in space.
Manuel hit it out, didn't he?
James Jordan.
Jordan, thank you very much. As we go back to live action, Princes with one last chance to go forward. Tony, this is with Tommy Sumner.
One last chance, Phil.
So
if they don't get a wriggle on, we'll be in time on too far back.
Right.
Just between wing and half forward. Oh, big collision there. Taken off hands that couldn't quite get inside the 50. Story of the day, really. A smother, scrappy play. Players looking to appeal. A little bit of argy-bargy going on out there now. Players would be just tightening up a little bit, saying, OK, free kick to Rostrevor here. Will they steady it? They haven't got anything to go to out this side of the ground. A couple of players also stretching, cramping up. So a lot of, this is what you call tempo football, folks. Umpire now calls play on. But a nothing kick because it's a 50-50 to a huge pack. That is mark of the day. Fantasia, is it?
Yep.
It is. That is fantastic. We were waiting for him to let go and get one like that. So good kick down the flank. Possession football there. Playing what we call around the outside. They're not going to chip inside, I would doubt, very much at the moment. And you can just see them holding.
Would you tag this man, Tony?
Just at the moment, mate, I'll watch the kick come inside the 50. And outside it goes, across the boundary line, and over it goes. Probably this time of the game, who are you talking about, Fantasia?
No, Craig Holm.
Craig Holm, a bit late in the game to be perhaps thinking about that. But, yeah, probably I'd be looking at attacking if I was Princes. Give it everything now. You've got maybe 8 minutes to go in the season. Just go, run, flood, everything. Just like that, soccer off the ground, comes back inside 50. Rostrevor, 1-on-1. Fantasia again, can't take it. Tries the spectacle. There's a soccer off the ground. Oh, just rolling through there. And well done, Demetrius. He went a bit quiet and then he's come back into it this quarter. So Princes now, they just need to get a rush on. No around the outside. They probably will go short here. They do. Doesn't hit a target. That's going to be costly. Ben O'Donoghue gives it up. And he has received a free kick. Sean.
Charity there by the umpire, I think. He could have been done by holding the ball. But anyway, he got the free kick, Donoghue. Goes short as far as Craig Pitt, but punched away by Holland. Good spoil.
Crowd over there are happy too,
yes,
Sean.
Rostrevor right in front of the Rostrevor change rooms. And very dark here now. Umpire throws the ball in. Goes forward. Donoghue it is, gets the ball out over the top. Craig Pitt running onto it. Can he take it cleanly? No. Murphy Short gets hold of the ball. Players struggling to get the ball out into some space. Now we're out as far as Nick Clayfield. Well crumbed to the front by Rostrevor, but unable to take it. Now on the boot quickly on the left foot. Here's a race for the speedsters. Who's going to get it? Got to keep your feet. Unfortunately, both players in the end fall over, and Sam Jonas ends up with the ball and relieves very calmly, as has been his wont for most of the day.
Just got a message. 3/4 time at Goodwood. Goodwood Saints by 1 point.
Wow, game on over there. We should have called that game, Phil.
Told you to be a draw.
Yep.
You could be right. All righty, so we're going to go with the kick down the outer wing. As we wonder the profiteering skills of Tony Neal, the prophecy skills, of Tony Neal. Fantasia got it. Oh, here's a chance for Rocks to seal it. Luke Manuel, an important touch earlier. An important finisher right there. And I'm going to call it 20-minute mark.
Figaro.
27 points. I reckon Rocks are rolling on to the preliminary final.
It's not over, Phil, till the final siren. You know that.
He's a good finisher, Luke Manuel.
One of the best kicks
Second
in the
goal for the day, and that great score assist. A key part in the last 2 Rocks majors. To steady the ship, and I reckon Tony Neal will see them home.
Oh, I don't know. We're only 20 minutes in. I'm going to have to call for about 8 minutes, but it wouldn't be the first time. Don't you worry about that. Okay, so Rostrevor streaming away with things. That was a nice celebration. Luke Manuel, I think that fired up the team as well. He knows it. There's a nail. They're on their way to a preliminary final. Up it goes once again. Oh, player, he might have done a hamstring there. Pulled down there, Butterfield. Yeah, well, that too. Butterworth, big trouble there. Ball on the 50-metre line. Rostrevor, look at him milling around. Butterworth is really struggling to walk now in the middle of the ground. Comes towards him, can't even move. Out it comes Princes, this way, that way. Onto the left foot to nowhere. We've seen a bit of that today as well. Rostrevor 2-on-1. Swarm on that player. Ball held up there. So Butterworth, you can just see him to the left of this. He's just limped into that ruck contest. Get him off the ground, they say, for goodness sakes. Put him on ice. Anyway, he stands himself up. Delwood's going to be physical, as he does. Third man up. We haven't seen a lot of that. No. Jake Pitt over the top. Rostrevor got a bit of a sniff on. Oh, they're hunting the ball here. Princes out the back. Puts a player in trouble. 1, 2. Every one of them's been in trouble. Broke away well there. I'll tell you what, that's through. Look at the hand go up.
Nice bit of pace.
Tom Humphries, He's happy about it. That's his second. And I'll tell you what, they won't go to sleep, Prince Alfred, but it might all be too late, Sean.
Yeah, well, that's a minute and a half on the clock, so well done, Tony. You didn't get through the 8 minutes, but
I can keep going if you like.
Good effort nonetheless.
Nice
and a nice goal by Tommy Charlton, was it?
Tom Humphries.
Tom Humphries.
There are a lot of Toms in this team.
Nice bit of pace, yeah.
Tommy Wicks, Tom Bartlett, Tom Fisher, Tom Brinsley, Tom Humphries, Tom Sumner.
Just have a look how they set up in the middle here, Sean, with the ruck. And they've kept Butterworth on, but he doesn't look good at the moment.
Yeah, well, you would have thought with what are they up by 5 goals with a couple of minutes to go, it might be time to give him a bit of a spell. But anyway, he's still out there, and let's see how he jumps to that contest. Jumped okay, and nearly ended up with a footy.
3 possessions.
Maybe it was just a 3 possessions in the one play. It's ended up with Patrick Dawson, kicks around the corner. Who's that with the footy now? Fantasia. But loved his game today. He's just kept at it and got reward for his effort today, which he doesn't always get. Anyway, the umpire says, I'll throw the ball up, boys, just inside the Rostrevor forward 50. Over the top comes Pitt, only as far as Gilbert. Gilbert quick. Oh, look at the courage there by Dylan Reinbrecht. And, boys, his game's improved remarkably from when we saw him the first game of the year against Payneham Norwood Union. Took a few weeks maybe to adjust to the tempo of the competition, but since then he's been really good. And he's laid that off. What was a certain goal, he's laid that off towards Patrick Dawson. Has he kicked any for the day, Phil?
Dawson has one. 16 for the season.
So they're really spreading. It looks like Tom O'Malley coming on. He looks a bit limpy himself.
7 individual goal scorers.
7 individual scorers. Goals, that is. Patrick Dawson, no relation to Henry, it should be said. 33-degree angle. Making his way in now. Frightened to call it. Just as well. Paul Fantasia.
What a pass.
He's been the best forward on the ground for either side by the length of the straight. And last week we picked Rostrevor's 3 best players and they concurred in the Sunday Mail. So I look forward to seeing Fantasia's name and Holm in the best 2 today.
The big question, when Monday night best and first, will they match up in votes?
Oh, God, if only he could kick. That is an absolute shocker. What was he thinking there? Has he practiced that or what?
Yeah, don't forget Monday night, the best and fairest count for Div 1.
Who's your tip, Phil?
Tommy Carter, Goodwood Saints.
Right.
But I'm going to be going back over our games, find out who won the beanie and see if that matches up with how the umpires see it.
Right, good call. Phil, you got nothing better to do, obviously. Right, Brisley's got it. Well tackled by Rostrevor.
I take this job seriously, thank you very much.
I like that, and so do our listeners, viewers even. Lanzoni's got it. Kicks it around his body. Will he end up being a midfielder for Rostrevor in the years to come, considering they've got a fairly ageing side? Phil, what do you think?
Look, they do have an ageing side, and Lanzoni, I guess, is their one-man youth policy. But there are a lot of players here that have been here for 4, 5, 6 seasons, and I think their window is right now.
Yep.
As we're at the 25-minute mark, I think this one is done and dusted. It's 2 goals, 9 the difference, although Princes have a Jack Stevens.
Tried hard today, hasn't he?
He has. He's been all over the shop.
Yep.
I mean, in terms of he's been here, there and everywhere. In a different role, I think, than what he's used to. He hasn't had to stand the main forward. He's tried to go up the ground a bit. It sits now with Ben O'Donoghue. He will kick it down the wing. Interesting concept to move the ball on there from to Wildman. Collison was taken down, and he's going to get the free kick. One last hurrah from the old scholars from the Quetterville Terrace. And that's, if you wanted to put Prince's Day in a capsule, that was it. With the ball, turnover kick to an almost uncontested mark.
James Jordan behind Rostrevor's best players too, I think. He's had a solid game.
He would be. He goes with a long kick and finds the target. Fantasia with a late bid to get the beanie. I tell you what, if he dobs the goal from here, I think he might have to have a rethink.
Reconsider, or we insist that Craig Holm takes Paul Fantasia out for dinner
now,
with the $100.
We thought that this was the scoring end with a bit of breeze. We thought. Let's find out. Fantasia, maybe not. You set it up and then it doesn't happen.
Not real sure whether he's any better off. I know he's close to the goal, but I don't know whether he's going to make the distance.
Paddy Dawson.
Killing the time. Killing the clock, Tony.
That's it. Princes can't win if they can't score, and they can't score if they don't have the football.
Oh, should have been the coach.
From 48. Look at that kick. That score irrelevant. It was touched on the line. But Rocks are rolling on to their 5th straight victory. They're in the prelim final. And for season 2020, that is it for Prince Alfred Old Collegians. Suffice to say, we are going to have a surprise premiere.
And guess what?
In 2020.
Guess what? As if on cue, the rain has started at the final siren. It's held off right until now, and we've finally seen
just
some
as
rain.
we send Tony off to do his boundary duties.
Let's sort out who's going to be the best, because they've got to get out there.
We've given it to you 6 times, mate.
Craig Holm?
Really sure. Yes, that's
all right,
what it's been.
I'm off.
The fast 4 times you've pointed, and we've agreed.
Safe travels. Keep the microphone dry, please.
Yeah, keep yourself dry, because you're as wet as the rain out there. Tony.
Well, that was a big game. Princes made it interesting for a while. They got as close as 15 points. The final margin was 22. Some goal scorers: Luke Manuel with 2, Paul Fantasia with 2, singles to Lanzoni, Dawson, Jordan, Reinbrecht and McCarthy. So as mentioned, 7 individual goal scorers. For Princes, Bartlett had 3, Humphreys 2, singles to Pitt and Brinsley. So just the 4 individual goal scorers, and if you've been following us through the day, just the 1 goal to the half-time break. Princes actually won the second half. They won the final quarter, but they gave Rocks too much of a head start.
Yeah, they did indeed. Well umpired today by Tony Simons and Robert Kane. I don't remember too many controversial free kicks at all, so it was a good effort by them. And yeah, dirty day for PAC. I think the scoreboard actually flatters them a little bit, to be honest with you. To me, watching the game, the first half in particular, was Rocks probably by about 6 or 7, not quite on the scoreboard, given they missed a few shots for goal. And 9 goals, 15 is evidence of that. Turned that around at 15-9, and I think that's probably a fair indication of where the game sat. We talked enough at half-time about the reasons for that. Clearly, we've got Craig Holm, our Dartfish winner now, with Tony Neal out on the oval.
Okay, folks, well, we're with our best on ground today, Craig Holm. And, mate, fantastic effort by the team. A very scrappy game, I thought. But you won a lot of clearances. We were really impressed with your game across 4 quarters, mate. How did you find it in the midfield today?
Yeah, it was definitely a tough game. The boys at PAC really battled hard all day. Credit to our lads. They fought hard all game. I mean, 15 points is a bit of a stretch, but we'll take a lot of confidence of that going into next week.
Yeah, and the pace of the game for next week, that was my next question, the pace of the game. How did you find that today? Because it was a scrappy affair. We almost called the windscreen wiper across and back a couple of times there.
That was one of the quickest games we've played all year. Both teams were really, really fit, and I think both teams really wanted to make it next week. So credit to our boys and bad luck to PAC.
Well, we'd like to present you with, first of all, the beanie, and you also get, thanks to the Mosley down at Glenelga voucher. You might be taking a few of the boys out with that one, mate. 5 wins on the trot. You're on your way to a preliminary final. You boys are going to shake it up, I reckon, next week as well. So congratulations on a fantastic game today, and we'll present you with these. All right, that was Craig Home, folks. Thank you very much, Craig, and get off and enjoy tonight.
Thank you very much, Tony Neal. Congratulations, Craig, and apologies. You know what I'm apologising for. Anyway, we will take a break. We get a chance to catch our breath. We get a chance to do our stats. Get a chance for Tony to get back up here so Jacko and Tony can summarise the game. A chance for me to get some scores around the ground. Plenty coming up over the next half hour. Don't go anywhere. This is the match of the day. Thanks to catch.com.au. Screaming good deals. One of our great supporters here in the Adelaide Footy League this year is Business Plaza. They do great work helping clubs raise much needed funds. One of those is the Goody Saints. Let's hear from Craig Scott.
The Goody Saints are going to partner with Business Plaza because of their track record, and also they're a major sponsor of the Adelaide Footy League, and they've brought in big companies like Vodafone and Catch Group. We feel we can better engage with our members and our players through the app, and I encourage you to get on board and become a member of Business Plaza.
Welcome back, folks. Well, it's getting hot in the kitchen in the OTR Division 1.
Just by coincidence, our yesterday's hero this week happens to be one of Port District's favourite sons, and I speak, of course, of Jamie Baldy Baldacera.
It's that time of the show for Tony's Tales, and he's brought some stuff.
I've got some what we call props.
Check out Catch, where everyday Aussies are getting great deals, like Justin's Timber Rake, Sylvester's Cologne, Celine's Dijon, and Camilla's Pasta Bowls. For millions of products, everyday Aussies, check out Catch.
Okay, welcome back, folks. 5 minutes after the game. For those who've just tuned in, Rostrevor, 9 goals, 15-69. Far too good today for Prince Alfred. 7 goals, 5-47. In the end, a 22-point margin. But as I said earlier, probably not a true reflection on the game. I think a 6 or 7 goal win would probably been a true reflection on the game. And as we spoke about at halftime and probably most of the game, the real reason for the game to be so heavily favoured in front of Rostrevor was the clearances. In the end, it was 34 to Prince Alfred to 48 to Rostrevor, but it was far more slanted in Rostrevor's favour in the first half. have a look at the inside 50s. Finished with 44 to Rostrevor to 36 to Prince Alfred. So out of 36 inside 50 entries, Prince Alfred only able to score 5 goals, which probably tells their tale. Turnovers also very highly in favour of Prince Alfred, 47 to 31. Tackles pretty even, 52 to 56. Centre clearances, it actually ended up in favour of Prince Alfred at the end of the day, 10-7, but it was around the ground, 48 to 34, where Rostrevor just too aggressive for Prince Alfred on occasions. Free kicks 18 to 17, nothing in that. And I thought the umpires, in fact, did a really good job. Hardly any need to call Tony Simons or Robert Kane. Tony, I thought the umpires were pretty good all day.
Yeah, they were, and they let it go a fair bit. A final, as I said, there was a lot of toing and froing. The ruckman tended to lock up a lot in the middle. We saw Butterworth a couple of times get a good jump at it, but a lot of the time they were just locked up 0-all. So the clearances became a really key factor, and Home with his clearances were very good. I think the first 3.5 quarters, as I mentioned in the call, I reckon they were just a half a metre in front. Rostrevor, they were just a little bit hungrier, attacking the ball a lot harder. Prince Alfred came back. There was like a mini comeback. The closest they got was 15 points. So they pushed at it. They couldn't capitalise. They'd spent all their petrol tickets trying to get to that 15-point buffer, and then Rostrevor just got on top. And you see guys like Luke Manuel, that goal in the last quarter, and celebrating big, and that they knew they were on their way to a preliminary. And the big thing now that you've really got to worry about is no injuries. So Bacanello off. That's going to be quite telling. And they almost, they had a bit of an injury to the ruckman there in the last couple of minutes as well.
Bit of a scare for Butterworth, but it'll be interesting to see whether the full forward code comes back into the side. They coped pretty well with that, and they spread the goal load pretty well. Wasn't any one player that kicked all their goals, but I thought Paul Fantasia's game was a first-class effort today. Right from the word go, we mentioned in the first quarter that both him and Nick Murphy looked on and were proving far too quick for Will Doward, and I thought Prince Alfred just didn't get their matchups right at the start of the game, and maybe that was a case of they thought they might be able to exploit Rostrevor with their height, but it didn't end up that way. And the best move was pushing Bartlett back to full forward. He ended up kicking 3 goals. Maybe had he started there, it might have been a different story. Yeah,
it's an interesting one, isn't it? And a playing coach, I know you've got assistants off the ground as well, but as a playing coach, and it's in a final, and you're getting done, you've got to make a lot of decisions very quickly, and you're trying to play your own game. And I 100% agree. Delwood wasn't working up forward. They rely a lot on him for a lot of things. His best position has to be around centre-half back, I'd suggest. Jake Pitt, we didn't see enough of him in the forward line. Bartlett, Jack Stephen, if it wasn't for him, the game would have blown out a lot further. And the other one was Hayden Jolly at times. We know he can use the ball well.
Second half was good, Yep.
Really good. But it does drop away a fair bit from there. We'll analyse this a little bit further in detail as the time goes by. The other one for Rostrevor was a young player like Lanzoni standing up in his first final. First year out of Senior 18. You know what you're going to get through the home and away, but pardon me, but then you get to a final and a big final, how they're going to perform, and I thought he did a very good job today.
Yeah, no, he did, and some of the other better players for Rostrevor. Craig Holm, we gave the medal, the Duff he's speaking to was terrific.
Close enough, mate.
Yeah, his toughness and hardness. Tulio Demetrius early in the game when the game needed to be won, I thought he gave it some real dash. Dylan Reinbrecht, that's as good a game as he would have played for the year.
He's just hard at it.
He is hard at it, and down back, Jonas and Holland did a good job. Murphy, although he didn't kick a lot of goals, how many goals did Nick Murphy kick?
No, none.
None. But what I do like is he's obviously a clever player. Some of his body work was really good, and he opens the game up a little bit for other players. So he's certainly worth his weight in gold in that respect. James Jordan, I thought, was terrific for pretty much right across the game.
Yeah, I'd have James Jordan up there. McCallum at times. You've hit the nail on the head with those players, but it's funny, the players from last week that were good were O'Malley, Nick Murphy Short. We sort of didn't mention them as much today. The other one is the injury to Tim Bacanello.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's not too bad. He was certainly icing up behind his knee, maybe a knee strain. If that's the case, he's a chance to play with tape. If it's actually the base of his hamstring, I'd say he's no chance to play. So, yeah, well, let's watch that space, isn't it, for those players, him and Code, next week to see whether they come up. And if Tim Bacanillo doesn't play, he will be a loss. But Craig Holm, clearly back to the form when he was the best player in this competition for several years, when winning a couple of medals, went away for a couple of years, and he's had 1 or 2 knee reconstructions. He copped it in the first minute of a state game. So, but on what you saw today, it was like he wound back the clock. I thought it was a fantastic game.
The other one was Luke Manuel, midfielder, chipped in with 2 goals.
Yep, always a good finisher with the ball, isn't he? Always neat with his kick and very effective player. Other scores today, Phil?
Yeah, look, let you guys talk through these. I'm still chasing a couple, including, of course, who Rox's opponent will be next week. That game should not be too far away from being finished. We do have a source that's going to get us the scores. But Jacko, maybe talk us through the semi-finals in the Breakthrough Mental Health Foundation Division 2.
Okay, so no real changes to what we saw at half-time in the Division 2. Henley ran out winners by 38 points over Holding Nations, 13-11 to 7-9, and Tea Tree Gully maintain a 42-point advantage to win 17-15 to 11-9. So next week in the prelim, Sacred Heart will play Henley. Not sure where that game will be. That'll be at the school, perhaps.
Well, it's Sacred Heart's home game.
Yeah.
Venue, I guess, to be worked out with the school.
Will they get the oval? Yeah, like
That's
the
right.
Division 1 clubs don't.
The school might be looking to get it ready for cricket. And in Division 3, well, Flinders Park stays on its merry way. 18-13 to North Haven, 10-13. So they won by 48 points. So that means next week Flinders Park are in the A grade, B grade and C grade grand final, reminiscent of 2011, 9 years ago, when they won the A, B, C and D grade premierships.
Who was coaching then, Sean?
Not sure, but it was a big day. They can't duplicate that or replicate that because there's no D grade anymore, Tone, but a big day for Flinders Park next week.
They will face Golden Grove in the A grade.
They will, indeed.
It's at Norwood Oval, and
your boys.
Especially, well, yes, my new team, and I'll especially be watching the C grade for my old team.
Yes.
The Plimpton Bulldogs coming up to
Bullies.
play. So maybe there'll be something for all of us to celebrate in that day. Still waiting on some final scores from the second semi-final, St Peters and Goodwood. The prelim final of Div 5, Kenilworth and Kernelite Gardens. Have heard nothing from St Paul's between Swoosh and Blackfriars all day. They might all be old scholars, but they also don't know how to use a text, to send a text. And Tony, you have some prelim final scores from 9 News Division 4 and Carnot Division 7.
Just like Sean, past coach, had a great scoring record down there at Flinders Park. There's another record that's gone on down at Pembroke, but
what's happened?
Similar to me in '95 there, they've lost both their finals straight out.
Oh no, we should never have got the coach on.
Very upset with that, but well done Walkerville, 17 goals, 13-115, 13 goals, 10-88, so 27-point win to Walkerville. They will play Hope Valley. And I'll tell you what, Hope Valley will be very happy about that result. They're still going to play and win a grand final, but they're playing Walkerville, Pembroke on top for the whole year and straight out.
And that grand final will be at Woodville Oval.
Is that correct?
And Div 3 is at Norwood, I believe.
Div 3 at Norwood, and Div 5, still waiting to hear Kenilworth, who did have a 33-point half-time lead over Kernelite Gardens, whether they'll be playing Lockleys. That grand final is at Richmond. Div 6 at St Mary's, Div 7 to be determined. It's a little bit of a logjam because some of the Sandfield grounds have got under 18 commitments, so they not quite the same availability. And for COVID rules, they want ovals with COVID plans and with fences so they can control numbers. So it's a minefield, as has been a fair bit of the administration at club and league level this season. And it's amazing that we're just 2 weeks away from getting through a pretty good season.
I've got to say, it's nice the fact that we're up here in the Adelaide University clubhouse, and when we wind up in a few minutes, hopefully we don't have to pack anything up. There's no caravan. There's no caravan to take back to Thebby for you, Tony, and happy days. We can get on the soup a bit quicker.
No, walk over to the Adelaide Oval.
Straight in the Crows game.
Last quarter.
And of course, you've got Carnot Division 7. Phil, that fella.
I have, Phil. I wasn't sure whether you were going to do the other division. So Division 7, Adelaide Lutheran, 17 goals, 9. Very accurate against Flinders Uni. 13-11, so 111 to 79, 32-point winners to Adelaide Lutheran. Poor old Flinders Uni, they did a good job of it. They played in the finals, so they can build on that for this next season, and Adelaide Lutheran are 32-point winners.
Adelaide Lutheran, Brahma Lodge, the grand final we thought probably from week one is the grand final we get. Doesn't always work out that way.
Correct.
No. So.
And that ground to be determined.
We've got a final score on the other Division 1.
No, I haven't, mate. I have been told that at the 20-minute mark, it was tied. Goody Saints 9-17, Spock 8-11. That was a couple of minutes ago. And the longer this game goes, the more I worry.
I did predict it. I did predict it.
All the various things I can't say on air that we threw at Tony when he said it might be a tie might actually be correct.
There's a guy in Sydney called the Coach Whisperer, and he goes out and reckons he can predict things. And that I'm not saying that. It was just looking at the matchups. It could have blown out either way.
Keep a lid on it, mate. It's not there yet.
I know, but I'm just saying, well, it's still a close game, Sean. I'll be happy with that.
Right.
What we might do is have a quick look tomorrow. We have some under-18 grand finals coming up. We do have to fill in a little bit of time. Then we'll talk about best and fairest for Div 1 again, and that will hopefully kill the clock till we get our final score.
I'd actually like to see a game go down to the wire that we're calling. We haven't had one of those yet, have we? We haven't had a real close game.
No, you haven't seen me in a close snail-biting game yet.
I imagine you would be first class.
Well, I've had it in last year's grand final. Payneham and Princes was something else.
With Tommy Javor.
47-point lead Payneham had at one point.
That's right, yeah.
And Princes almost stole it.
Both those teams are out now, Phil. You won't be calling them this year.
No, different teams as well.
How'd we go with the tipping today, Phil, with the points? Who got closest?
Oh, I'll look that up in a sec. Actually, I'll look up that if you have a talk about the under-18s tomorrow.
So, yes, the first game, I'll do the first two and you can do the second two. How's that? So we're commentating all four, which is a first for the under-18s. And the reason I'm doing it, or we're doing it, is it's fantastic. No, it's nothing to do with that.
Of course it is. I'll do it for nothing then.
Make up for last week.
To give these under-18s, which is the future of our league, a profile and get them out there, be able to look at themselves and hear their names called out if I can pronounce them right. So the first women's under-18 blue is Teachery Gully versus Hope Valley. I've got some people at Hope Valley I know that are going to come and help along with that one. And 11:50 men's under-18 blue, Sacred Heart. So this is interesting. Under-18s, Sacred Heart Old Collegians versus Hope Valley. So Hope Valley in both those games.
Ding.
It's not actually Sacred Heart's first 18 that play. It's generally about somewhere between their second and third side.
Oh, is it? So, I was wondering. Yeah. So they're still school kids and some maybe that have gone to uni. Is it that mix?
No, it's all. It's just school kids. So it's Sacred Heart under 18s. I mean, if there were a few that managed to get through school before they were 18, they'd be eligible. But as the umpires make their way in, fantastic job today, boys. No, we said if you watch the replay, you'll know we said it was a fantastic effort by you guys today.
So on that Sacred Heart thing, are they doing that so that then they've got a bit of a future so the players can work through? I don't mind that.
So I think what they were experiencing was that they had players that weren't necessarily in their first 18s, but were playing Sundays for Brighton or whatever. So now this keeps them in under their school umbrella. Anyway, one
ding. Stop press. I'll butt in with a prelim final score from Powerade Division 6. Blackfriars kicked 4 goals, 15-39. St Paul's, swoosh, 5-11, 41. St Paul's are in the grand final by 2 points.
They pinched it.
Wow.
And they play Hectorville, who they beat in the minor round by 1 point.
Wow.
So, again, the grand final that we expected to see after a couple of weeks, St Paul's and Hectorville, Div 6. Please continue.
Yeah, so the other two under-18 finals that my co-commentators will be calling in their finest glory next week. 150, the women's under-18 red, that's Goodwood Saints taking on Port Districts. And at 340, the mighty Flinders Park will be taking on the Brighton Bombers at 340 in the men's under-18.
Who might you tip there, Sean, do you think?
Oh, I think Flinders Park could make it 4 next week. They could go C's, B's, A's and under-18s.
That could be the 4, just not on the same day.
Correct.
I've actually got a special person coming in for we're commentating the 3rd and 4th game. Myself and one of my very good friends. Been on the Port Adelaide board, been an SANFL
name dropping
player. No, I haven't said his name, have I?
Just
just building up the record. Sample, committee member, bit of everything. I'll tell you later on. But no, very proud to be getting along there and having a bit of go at the under-18s. They're all down at St Mary's too, Phil.
Which is turning out to be quite a good venue for us to find games. Norwood Oval's been a bit of a saviour at different points. Now, Jack, I appreciate that you might have the world to say. We haven't got an updated from Goodwood and St Peter's as yet. Keen to stay on air until we have that. It's probably the last thing that we do, which means Monday night is the Div 1 medal count. We've had the women's, we've had the under-18s, we've had Div 3 to 7. Your thoughts on Div 1?
I'll go to Tony first. I'll try and remember who I picked.
Well, I picked Tim Baccanello. And some of that was on what I saw last week, and we only saw Rostrevor once or twice through the season. But the interesting thing with it is, as we've picked some of our best players, we notice when the teams do theirs, sometimes we're very close to it, and sometimes we're a long way off it because they might have had certain players playing certain positions for a reason or jobs to do.
Or they're bad judges.
And the umpires will also see it differently. They're out there, and if a player can tend to be a bit chirpy or maybe they're not noticing what we're noticing, the ruckman, Carter, was one of the names that came up, but he tends to tap the ball and doesn't do much else.
Oh, gee, that's a harsh call. I think
the second effort.
Opposite Tom Carter.
Tommy Carter taps the ball and doesn't do much else.
Games you've been watching.
Yeah, the first game we went to, when Port Districts were all over him like a rash.
He was the best player in that game.
Tapping the ball, but it's what happens next. I look at the Ben Hudson sort of type where you go in and get the ball and start to get a few kicks and handballs. Now, he might have picked up through the season, but if you're not doing it every game, then you might not be getting the vote.
I would be surprised. And look, we've probably had enough bets and we've have to pay out in a couple of weeks, so let's not add to the punishment. But I predict that Tom Carter will get one vote from that Port Districts game.
I don't have...
let's wait and see.
I don't have any... you picked him.
I picked him to win.
And you picked him just before I did too, because I actually think he'll be right up there. But the other guy that I have picked, because you stole him, is the guy from Brighton, midfielder.
Osborne.
Nigel Osborne. I think he'll be right there when the whips are cracking as well. Someone told me the other day that they heard that he had got the medal with 1 round to go. Now, that was a player, and I said, well, how the hell would you know that?
How does that work?
Trying to tell me it's been leaked.
We have a final from Goodwood.
Right, what is it?
St. Peter's, 9-11-65. Goodwood, 9-18-72. The Goodwood Saints,
into the granny.
8 in a row, are in the grand final.
Extra time, was it?
Don't believe so. And Kenilworth have defeated Colonel Light Gardens. I won't by 56 points. So it is St. Peter's hosting Rostrevor, venue to be advised, next week.
So out of all the games that we've gone through today, was that the closest game?
No, St. Paul's won by 2.
Okay.
So that would be the closest.
So what was it in the end?
7.
7 points. Wow, close game
and
then.
Thanks to John for providing that information.
So where was that?
One of our great supporters, John.
That was at Thebby today.
It was at Thebby.
And they chose Thebby because they wanted the big ground.
And they couldn't have the school.
Yep. So the question is, will they want to go to Thebby next week? They can't. There's a grand final there, isn't there?
Not at the moment. That's where I think the Div 7 to be advised might have been to be advised, depending if St. Peter's needed it. Well, now, I'm guessing here, so I'm going on dangerous ground. But
do you think St. Peter's might come here?
Yeah, I was just thinking, as you were talking
I think there might be a game here. It might be either St. Peter's, Rostrevor, or the Div 7 grand final.
Here at Adelaide Uni?
Well, could they play a grand final here?
No, you can't. You can't lock. You can't shut the gates.
You can't charge, can you?
No.
Okay, I'll take that one back.
So, Payneham.
You could go to Payneham for sure.
Anyway, the league will work it out.
That's
or
Tony
the teams.
Sullivan's issue. We'll just report it.
Good thing is we can wind up now, can't we?
We're done.
Good. Hallelujah.
We're done. We wanted to stay and give you all the games, and thanks to all those who've been providing those through the day. So let's just grab our breath for a sec and wrap it up as we need to do. It was Rostrevor here defeating Prince Alfred. Goody Saints defeating St. Peter's. It'll be Rostrevor and St. Peter's next week at St. Peter's venue of whatever they can find. And we'll play Goody Saints in the grand final in Norwood in 2 weeks. And you had the scores there, Tony.
Yeah, 22 points, 9 goals, 15-69 to 7 goals, 5-47. So 18 points at three-quarter time it was, Phil. 22-point winners. And, so Rostrevor, St. Peter's next week. So this will be a belter. Of course, that'll be our game because there's only one game.
That's it.
Preliminary final. And I reckon Goodwood Saints will be sitting around watching that, saying, I hope it's a belter and I hope it's a close one. Closest game Rostrevor have had in, 5 or 6 weeks was today, and it still hasn't been.
What'll be interesting, you would think that you look at the three tools of St. Peter's up against the Rostrevor defence, and Jonas can cover one, no problems. Holland's got to get one, and who gets the third? That's where I go, well, St. Peter's have got a massive advantage, but maybe Prince Alfred thought that with Dowwood today, and he certainly wasn't able to perform any real magic today, was he?
Phil, do you think Will O'Malley, let's have a bit of a chat about this game, do you think he'll be the one that maybe stays back next week rather than on ball? He started himself on ball the last 2 games, and I've seen him loose across half-back previously. So maybe he has to go back, but he's not the tall to stand someone, though, is he?
No, he's not a shutdown player. He likes to play free and get himself free. Or the third tall, Butterworth could do it. Or the other bloke that came and helped Butterworth, McCormack, in the ruck. Yeah,
what happens if Butterworth goes down?
Injured?
In the game, touch wood, it doesn't happen, but if something happens, there's not much else.
McCormack,
I suppose. Yeah, McCormack.
Hit out today, so, No, it's going to be an interesting matchup.
Wow.
Who won the last time they played this year, Phil? St. Peter's and Rostrevor. Any idea?
No, not off the top of my head, actually.
Oh, I got you for once.
You have got me, indeed. I've got this week covered. Next week I start work on as soon as I get home. The rest for the weekend. All right, let's wrap it up. It's been a good day.
Please.
We want to thank our team. Want to thank Liam, our statsman Lockie, Phil and cameraman for Brody, who's Crook Brody. Get better soon. Our producer Alejandro. G'day Alejandro. And Tony, last thought?
No, what a great game for Rostrevor. I guess a great game as a final. Let's hope next week is a belter, and can't wait. And have a listen tomorrow for the under-18s as well. Thank you, gentlemen.
Good night, folks.
And from Jacko, under-18s tomorrow between the posts. Monday night best and fairest, between the posts Wednesday night, our live stream Saturday. Thanks to Business Plaza, Interchange, the Moseley Bar and Kitchen, Dartfish, the Elders Weather App and Lens Surgery for the pre-game. This has been a Sports Interactive and Filming Footy production. Good night from University Oval.